Good morning. We're not starting until 10:30, but I'm ready. Figure we could go through some spreadsheets. If you're in here, probably only a couple people in here. Name a game you want to talk about real quick. Let me fix this window. There we go. Wow, you're live. That was quick. Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? Can we OSU versus Iowa State? All right. Yeah, we're going to go through that one on the show, but we can pull it up now. Whoa. OSU. No, they play Iowa, not Iowa State. OSU, Iowa. Yeah, you could. Ohio State. Much. Let's just go down here. Yeah, Ohio State's been playing so much better recently. Look at Ohio State offense in the last 5. Iowa's defense has been trash all year, though. In the last 5 games, Ohio State's had the better offense and the better defense than Iowa. Let's see strength of schedule, though. 122nd to 21st, though. That might explain that. So, yeah, Ohio State's definitely been playing better than Iowa. They've also played a much weaker schedule. All right, St. Joe's, Richmond. What's St. Joe's? SJU? That's St. John's. What's St. Joe's? I think it's Joe's. Yep. Richmond. All right. Last 5 games. They played about equal schedule, so that's good. St. Joe's has been the better team, though. And they also run a faster pace. Isn't St. Joe's catching points in that? Let me see. Yeah, I just was searching that game. St. Joe's, plus 3.5. How do you not take St. Joe's? They've been the better team against the same schedule. Yeah, St. Joe's would be the move there. We have 25 games set up, and I don't even think we have the St. Joe's game in there. So, yeah, I think St. Joe's has to be the move. We can ask the other guys when they get on here, but based on this, they've been playing better and we're catching points. But you guys know I couldn't tell you much about St. Joe's program, so I don't know if I'm the best source to go by on that. When it comes to like NBA or college football or NFL, I'm confident giving you my opinion, knowing that I think I'm pretty good at what I do. But college basketball, I'm just along for the ride, man. UNC FSU. Oh, not UNC Wilmington. All right, North Carolina. Let's go down. Let's start with the last 5 games. Obviously, North Carolina's been better. North Carolina actually has been better offensively, too. They've played the stronger schedule. Let's see if there's any mismatches here. North Carolina, wow, second in efficiency at the rim. Nobody scored on North Carolina. Opponents are shooting, this is crazy. Opponents are shooting 44% from the floor against North Carolina at the rim. 44% at the rim is crazy. And look at these defensive efficiency numbers here for North Carolina. 2nd at the rim, 32nd in the paint, 62nd against the mid-range shot. So, yeah, I hope Florida State's about to hit some threes in this game, or else they're not going to score. Let's look at the Florida State defense. I mean, this is terrible. The good news for Florida State is North Carolina doesn't have anything overwhelming. But look right here. These short mid-range shots, look at this. North Carolina's taking 20.5% of their shots from there. Florida State 289th defensively. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the only way to go would be North Carolina. And another game, Maryland, Michigan State, you guys want to do? We're going to go through them all in the show, too. This is just we're messing around for the next 30 minutes until we start. Maryland, Michigan State. All right, Maryland, Michigan State. Last 5 games. Wow, look at the strength of schedule. Last 5 games. Michigan State, 23rd. Maryland, 160th. So Michigan State's played the much stronger schedule. That being said, offensive rating 75th for Maryland, 271st for Michigan State. But again, it might be because they played a much easier schedule. So you know what? Let's go back to the last 10 games for this one because the strength of schedule. So see, all right, so in the last 10 games, strength of schedule is a little closer, 80th to 36. So maybe we get a better indication here. You could still, Michigan State's offensive rating still bad. Defensive rating about even. Let's see if we can find some mismatches here. Maryland offense. Look at the Terps with some good, nice looking numbers at the basket here. Michigan just doesn't allow anyone to get down to the rim though. Minnesota, Michigan State. Oh my God, I need another coffee. I was gonna say, I was like, I don't remember making this graphic. Oh Lord, my bad. Minnesota, Michigan State. That's funny. So let's try that again. Oh man. Strength of schedule 13th to 36. Yeah, okay. Minnesota's been pretty ass. Let's go last 5 games. All right, the strength of schedule is even here in the last 5 games, so this should be a decent indicator. Net rating 209th to 230th. So these teams have been about even. I don't know how though, because look at that. Can't be right. Let's go back up here. That cannot be right. Yeah, that's why. Jesus Christ. People be messing my sheets in here. Hold on. JKLJK. That's why. I fixed it. All right, Minnesota's messed up. Let's go to a different game. San Diego State, UNLV. Hold on. Let me make a note to fix before we go on. Fix Minnesota. Because if I don't make that note, I'll forget. All right. We just did St. Joe's Richmond. San Diego State. UNLV. Last 5 games, strength of schedule, pretty even. San Diego State been better offensively, but UNLV been better defensively. I don't know much about these two teams. Rebounding edge, San Diego State's offense. UConn going to beat the brakes off Xavier. Well, we'll see. But, yeah. I had Butler against Xavier yesterday, so. Damn, UNLV's defense at the basket. Holy shit. 8th and 19th at the rim. It's pretty crazy. But, I mean, San Diego State doesn't even shoot down there, so I guess that would be a positive angle for San Diego State. San Diego State's defense. Wow, definite edge here. Same matchup, though. Another team that protects the rim well, but this team, UNLV, doesn't shoot at the rim. Take all their shots here. I would say San Diego State. What's the line on this one? Oh, they're laying 4. That makes sense. Next game. Toledo or Kent State. I couldn't tell you. Is that the MAC championship, Toledo, Kent State? Oh, it's right at the top, 11 a.m. Damn, that starts soon. Toledo, Kent State. Good Lord. Strength of schedule 316 to 277th. Toledo's been significantly better. What's the line on this? Toledo laying 5.5. That's not that big of a number for this much of a mismatch here. Yo, how's this number only 5.5? Someone that follows MAC basketball, let me know. It looks like Toledo's way better than Kent State. Am I missing something here? Mid-range. But you know what? Kent State got nice defensive numbers there. Where's Kent State have the edge here? I don't understand. How do you not bet Toledo at 5.5? Based on these numbers, and I don't know shit about MAC basketball. So if you're like a MAC basketball fan, you're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I know. I don't know shit about this. But based on the numbers in my spreadsheet, this looks like a Toledo -9 game. Bowling Green or Central Michigan. Gee, you guys are on some deep cuts here. Bowling Green, Central Michigan. All right, let's take a look. Strength of schedule goes to Bowling Green. And they've been better. So they've been significantly better than Central Michigan with a harder schedule. So, and they're only laying 2.5. All right, let's see if we can find why. All right, Central Michigan defense does have the edge here. That's a pretty big discrepancy right there. But second chance points for Bowling Green. You know what? Look at this. Holy shit. So, see these shot frequencies here? So, Bowling Green, 33.8% of their shots come at the rim. 31.1% come in the paint. So, you combine those two together. That's 64.9% of Bowling Green's shots come from 12 feet and inside. So, Bowling Green attacks the rim a lot. And that's actually the strength of Central Michigan's defense. So actually, this might be a sneaky spot to take a sharp stab on Central Michigan or the under. Let's look at the other side, though. Yeah, this makes that a little concerning here. Where does Central Michigan take their shots from? Hey, they launched a lot of threes, and Bowling Green sucks against the three. But I mean, 310th in efficiency, so they're not that good at shooting them. Central Michigan, what's the line on that? 3? I like Central Michigan. No, these are my, is all these in the action app? No, these are my spreadsheets that I personally have. These are, I don't know how to, they're like, I have them in my own Google sheet. This is what the people at the Sauce Network, this is what we use. So this is our stuff. All right, someone shout out another game. Bethune-Cookman. No, Shipley. We're not doing fucking Bethune-Cookman. Niagara Marist. That's the second person that requests that game. You guys really want to do Niagara Marist? All right, let's go. Niagara Marist. Wait, no. Marist? What's Marist? MRST is Marist. All right, Niagara Marist. Here we go. Hey, last 5 games, Marist has played the much stronger schedule here. Look at this, 161st to 350th. And they're pretty much even in net, actually minus 6.6 on both sides. They're like dead even in net rating. Bro, what's the line on this game? Marist has got to be the move. I don't even see a line. Oh, because it's in New Jersey. Hold on. Someone get me a line. I could probably get it on unabated. Probably shouldn't be showing you guys my email. You psychopaths are going to be emailing me. All right, so Marist. Marist minus 1.5. Yo, Marist there, based on this. Is there an injury that I don't know about? Yeah, Marist. I don't even think I could bet it. Wake Forest Pitt. You guys want to do that one? So that's what someone said. All right, let's do that one. Wake Pitt. All right, Wake Pitt. Let's get down here. The last 5 games. Strength of schedule. Pitt's played the stronger schedule, and they've been, wow. What? That can't be right. Is Pitt fucking playing their ass off right now? Damn, good shit, Pitt. I see you, Pitt. Damn, Pitt's red hot. What's the line on this game? Oh, yeah, they got it nice and short. Makes sense. But based on recent production, how do you not go Pitt here? Look at this. It's in the last 5 games, and they've played the stronger schedule. Pitt should lock down the glass here on the defensive side. Pitt defends this shot well, which Wake takes a lot of. Let's see if we can find some angle for Wake Forest. All right, Pitt's not going to get second chance opportunities. Right here. Pitt should get... Yeah, Pitt's got to be the move. Pitt. Anyone else want to shout out a game? Suns plus 6.5. We can pull up the NBA one. You want to pull up the NBA one? Nah, this is a college basketball. This is college basketball. We don't need to do that. Vegas Knights versus the Flames. St. Joe's, Richmond. We did already. I like St. Joe's. Yeah, well, everyone wants that game. Yeah, we did that. We did that one already. I like St. Joe's. Baylor, Cincinnati. All right, let's go. Baylor, Cincinnati. All right, last 5 games. Strength of schedule. Holy shit, Baylor. Holy shit. All right, so significant discrepancy here in strength of schedule. 3rd to 133rd. That being said, Cincinnati has much better looking numbers in that span, which makes sense because they played a much easier schedule. You know what? Let's back it up to the last 10 games here. All right. So last 10 games, the strength of schedule is a little bit closer, but still Cincinnati, 148, 156. Baylor's a weird team, though. They're so streaky. Yo, look at this. Last 5 games. Turnover rate. Baylor offense, 315th. They're turning the ball over on 17.3% of their possessions in the last 5. Cincinnati forcing turnovers on 18.2% of their defensive possessions. Baylor better protect the basketball in this game, man. They should get to the free throw line like crazy, though. Where's Baylor shooting from? The corner 3. Okay, Baylor. 24.3% from the short mid-range here. Yo, I might go Cincinnati in this, honestly. Cincinnati paid me out last night against Kansas. Kind of want to see what the rest of the guys on the show say. We did Florida State, North Carolina already. Anyone else have a game want us to go through? Or want me to go through before we start? UMass VCU, are you kidding? Minnesota, Michigan State, we did already. Mississippi State, LSU, we can do that one. See what the line is first. Mississippi State, LSU catching 5. Mississippi State, LSU. Last 5 games, holy shit, strength of schedule. 14th to 271st. What? That can't be right. Let me just make sure. Mississippi State, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Auburn, Kentucky, LSU, Missouri, Arkansas. No, that is right. That is right. Mississippi State's going through the gauntlet here, and LSU's playing nobody. All right. So that strength, these strength of schedule numbers are right. And Mississippi State's got the better overall. Oh, no. This is the one that's messed up. These net ratings ones don't go. These numbers right here aren't right. If you look here, negative 2.1 and minus 3.5, that is closer to. All right, so last 5 games, Mississippi State offense. Wow. Yo, Mississippi State. I don't even have to look at anything else. Look at this. The offense has been way better than LSU's defense. They should have the edge on the offensive glass. Holy shit. They should get all they want at the rim. Yeah, Mississippi State. I'm betting this now. Oh, Toast is ready to join the stream, it looks like. All right, let's get Toast on the screen here. I guess I probably, I don't know. Let me turn that off for a second. I don't know if it shows anything that shouldn't be broadcasted. Probably does it, but I don't know if like a password of mine was about to pop up or something. All right. Send this email to Toast, Scoop, Andy, Basketball 1. All right. Looks like Andy sent the pie charts in as well. Just send it to you, Toast. Mississippi State, Jimmy Harvest asked what I just bet. I actually didn't even bet it because right when I went to bet it, Toast said add me to the stream. I'm going to bet it now. Mississippi State. Yo, good morning, Toast. It's early for you. Oh, that's Andy. What's up, man? Good morning.
You just took my big fucking selling point about Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Nobody was bringing up the strength of schedule, dude. They just the one game, like the one good game that LSU's had to play recently was Mississippi State.
Yeah, you guys just interrupted our spreadsheet time.
Spreadsheet time.
We were having a very intimate spreadsheet sesh. Mississippi State betting it now. I'm lowering my unit size today. I'm going 150 instead of 200 because I plan on betting a lot of games.
I know.
There's so many games on. Nova Marquette. I mean, are we still doing the spread? You know what? These guys don't care. Let's do one more. Whoa.
I love your hat today. Love your hat today.
Yeah, I represent bad teams as well. All right, what do you say, Nova Marquette? Man,
Oh.
I think the whole world wanted DePaul to finish that last night. Nova Marquette.
Disagree.
Strength of schedule, Marquette, shocker.
I didn't want to see Marquette get fucking or Paul get cremated by Marquette today. So.
All right. Good news.
Yo, look right here. Look at these. Look at the above the break 3 numbers for Villanova. In the last 5 games, they're taking over 40% of their shots from there. That's 10th most in the country. They're shooting 40% from there. And look at Marquette's 3-point defense.
Show me a pie chart that has Marquette full of yellow, and I'll be on Villanova.
Oh, let me get
instantly.
Did you send the pie charts, Andy?
I sent 1 through 17.
I should probably.
You said you were gonna
get my email off the off the screen.
I'd assume the world's gonna be on Marquette today too.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I would. I don't know though, because Villanova. I said it the other day. A team that plays their worst game usually bounces back pretty well. That was their worst game.
That was their worst game, and I just after that three from Justin Moore, I kind of want to play on them today. I want that momentum.
They shot late very well. They made shots when they needed to, and I'll give them credit.
And
Villanova shouldn't have needed to, but
Villanova is one of those teams that they shoot threes and they shoot free throws at a very high rate.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you guys take Villanova. That's going to work out well for you guys.
I am taking Villanova, man.
I think I'm taking their money line, dude. I think they're winning the game.
You guys are disastrous.
Are you just looking at the one game they just played?
No, Villanova sucks. I've told you that for like weeks now.
Villanova does not.
He's
suck.
told us
They're
that, guys.
They're 17 and 14. They suck.
they are terrible.
They're terrible.
They're not
Oh
terrible.
my God, Kolik's not
They are
playing.
bad.
Kolik's not playing.
No.
Yeah, Cole's not playing.
The line's only at 4. That's rough. I thought we'd be getting more than that.
Doesn't matter to me. I think they're winning the game. We just saw their worst fastball.
Why?
Because we just saw their worst fastball.
You saw their worst
They're gonna give
fastball
us
for
their
2 weeks now.
Is there
Villanova
another game you
suck.
guys want to see while we're waiting? I'm gonna enjoy a piece
in
of
the comments.
I'm gonna enjoy a piece of Nicorette gum.
We got to keep talking basketball, or I'm going to talk about how AJ Preller turned Juan
Oh,
Soto,
God.
Drew Thorpe, and Ararte for Dylan Cease, Michael King, Johnny Brito, Vasquez, and Higgy.
Jesus.
Georgia, Florida. You guys want to see Georgia, Florida? All right.
Why? I had written Missouri already in the document. I had to actually change it. I was like,
I'm
this is
glad
hard.
that you had to. I wish you had to change the whole thing.
Me too.
Strength of schedule, Georgia. Oh my God! Good luck scoring points here, Georgia. Jesus.
Georgia's shot the 3 very well yesterday, though. I will give them that. They were not.
You know
doing
what
that.
though, Georgia? Look at this. You're gonna have the maximum number of possessions in this game. Offensive
No, they
rebound.
won't. The size difference is bad. I don't know how the actual rebounding will go. But Florida has a significant size advantage, pretty much against anybody they play.
I'm reading the data here. Oh.
Also, Russell Tachua did roll his ankle yesterday, and it always is worse the next day. So I don't know how limited he's going to be.
Florida plays.
I have very little hope.
Florida plays very good defense against the 3-point shot, though.
If Ochua doesn't play, you guys are fucked.
Yes, because they will. I literally not get a rebound. I mean, the Florida has a bunch of guys they can throw at you that just have
What's the lineup?
ungodly amount of length. It's right now. I believe it was 8. Which is about what I expected.
Yeah, it's 8.
I don't think Georgia can replicate what they just did from the 3-point line. They went 12 of 23. It's pretty fucking good. So
Someone said, Toast, why do you hate the state of Florida? Do you hate the state?
also,
Trying to figure out what makes
AJ's favorite college basketball player had a great game yesterday.
Oh, Blue
I have a
Game?
tattoo of the U on my leg. I don't hate Florida. I have the tattoo of the U on my leg.
We don't have it queued up, but I like St. Joe's. We were looking at it before.
Yep, seems like
Saw some Big Ten hate in here before. It's a pretty solid day today of Big Ten games. Tomorrow will be better, but
we've seen over the last couple mornings all these dogs that are these favorites taking money. They don't cover. That Toledo hasn't moved really, but St. Joe's up a point.
Dude, the first game I was up here talking about Maryland, Wisconsin, Maryland, Michigan State. Didn't even realize until like 2 minutes in the comments were like, dude, it's Minnesota, Michigan State.
yeah.
I was like, oh, that's embarrassing. It's early.
we talked about that.
Strength of schedule, Wisconsin.
Maryland took Rutgers into a fucking blender yesterday.
Oh my God, dude! Look at Wisconsin's defensive
Dude,
numbers.
I've already bet Maryland. I sent Maryland out last night. That's one of my
Look at
I
this, though.
told you right when the line dropped. I'm betting Maryland.
But look at
One
this
of my favorite
though.
plays.
Wisconsin's played a much stronger schedule.
Yeah, people forget Maryland's also not good.
I don't forget. I just know that Wisconsin's fucking terrible. Anywhere that's not at home,
You're right.
defense travels more, so I will take the defense.
I'm gonna pee real quick at the last second.
What did Rutgers wind up getting? They got 51. What was the
51.
What was the team total on that? 60?
60.
I told
baby.
I said
You were
50 and
good.
a half, and I was close.
You were close,
That
dude.
is. I've never seen a team punt the season more than Rutgers punted this season. They did not care.
Yeah, that was just an absolute disgrace. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm having a real hard time focusing on basketball right now. The San Diego Padres are taking up all of my time. All of my time.
Yeah.
But
What's coming
good
up?
news is 11 a.m., whatever time it is, your guys is +4. USC plays basketball today, boys. Shocking the world.
You mean South Carolina?
Shocking the world.
They also play. I think they play the
USC, the best USC.
There's some really, really good
Look at
games.
my shirt.
I think that USC game has become a really, really good game. I wouldn't have expected it to.
Because the world wants to see me lose, Andy. It's just how it
I don't want to.
Andy, you like my shirt?
I can't read it. What is
No one
that?
can read it.
Oh,
Scoop.
it says Cox. It says Cox. Okay.
It got blurrier when you got closer.
But with the South Carolina.
Okay. Very nice.
You know what? If you
I
buy
tend
a
to think
light,
they're on
I will
upset.
give you a comment on all your shirts.
I have a light. I'm actually pretty good light right
I
now.
tend to think they're on upset watch today. Arkansas also played their worst game of the season yesterday.
Dayton,
Or that might have just
Duquesne.
been who they are.
Want to do Dayton Duquesne real quick before we? All right, let's go. Dayton
The
Duquesne.
Dukes. Don't tell me about the Dukes.
What's the line on that game? I didn't look.
6.5.
Dayton Duquesne.
I wanted to.
Strength of schedule, pretty close.
I'm taking the Dukes.
I think I like the Dukes too. Hold
Oh,
on,
yeah.
hold on. Let me go a little bit deeper first.
Significant off.
Look at the turnovers here. Duquesne not forcing turnovers on 19.3% of their defensive possessions, and Dayton can't protect the
Oh,
basketball.
look at those 3-point numbers. Oh,
Yeah, Dayton's coming off on a neutral and against a team that they haven't played yet.
Yeah, that
So
is
even out.
holy shit. So Dayton shoots the lights out, huh?
So let's just take a year behind. Let's just take a look at how they did their first couple games last year in this tournament. 60 points, 68 points, 78 points. Let's go back another year, see where they go. 68.
If this number is 6, I'm on the Dukes too.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. You can get 6.5 too if you shop it around.
Yeah, got to be the Dukes.
somebody.
Any other game? We got time for one more quick one.
Yeah.
Somebody said I need a nickname. You'll be surprised to know Andy's not my name. Tatum. Fun fact.
All right,
It
no
is a
more,
nickname.
no more. We're getting 2 minutes left. It's actually less than 2 minutes. We speed this up. I know it's stupid. We should just start now, but there's people that are probably waiting to 10:30 that maybe have it set on their phone. So
Got a lot of people waiting in here.
Oh, it's
like
true because that's how I do it a lot of times. I'm on alarms, a lot of alarms.
yeah, we looked at the Toledo one before, and I don't see how you would get to the other side there.
How about Montana State last night, Toast?
I know.
How
Easy
about
money.
Montana State?
That was
Easy
good.
money.
Oh yeah.
I had the money line.
Nice. Big Sky was just a whole
basically-
mess this year.
Basically, because I'm a risk taker. That's what it comes down to.
Shout out to Notre Dame. Covered my live spread by the hook. Awful basketball.
So did Nichols. Nichols
There's
covered by the
shouting on Notre Dame.
I got him at 13.5, like 5 minutes into the game, and they lost by 13. So
Someone said a great day in sports betting today. Yeah, for real. It's a serious day.
soccer today too.
Show me the
I'm sure that'll
pie
be
charts
on
for Kent
somebody's
State
phone.
Toledo.
I could real quick in the last minute look it up.
Oh, never mind. It's not that big of a deal.
Pie charts for Kent State.
Ooh, the MSG. Did both Big East games go
Public
under?
heavy on
The
Toledo.
poll obviously did.
Public heavy on Toledo.
Thank you. I thought so.
Think the St. John's game will go under though, because that's a home game for them technically.
Dude, that game has me.
That's the game of the day in my opinion. That is
Like, how do you not take St. John's?
Seton Hall. I'm taking Seton Hall.
That's a sick
I mean, I
game.
can't take them in general.
Especially considering last night St. John's picked up another Q1 win or whatever with all the mess that's going on. So they're win and they're in.
So it's 10:30. We can get started. We got a lot of games to go through, so we'll just go ahead and keep it moving. First up, Xavier. I almost said on the road. Xavier, UConn.
it might as well be. This is basically a home stadium for UConn.
Right. We can UConn making their Big East tournament debut. Toast, would you lay the points?
I wouldn't lay the points, but under. Madison Square Garden unders, baby. 149.5. Under. 2-0 yesterday, 4-0 if you count the full game and first half. I don't think that Xavier is going to be able to score very much anyway. So I just think that UConn's going to be flexing all of their muscles here. So under and UConn for me. Under and UConn.
Scoop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go UConn here. A lot of these quarters in the bigger leagues, there's a double bye play, so I tend to bend favorites here. I'm doing it with UConn. UConn's fully healthy. I'm gonna lay the points. They're gonna slow this game down to a grind and a half court. Xavier beat Butler yesterday. They still finished the season 2-6. 2-6 in Big East play. When they played UConn once already, they kept that game close at home, but lost to 43 at UConn. Like you said, MSG is like a second home for UConn. They'll always get the biggest fan base. UConn plays at MSG a lot. I'll consider this basically like a home game. You know what UConn can do inside and out. They're a very complete game. They're very solid on the perimeter defensively, but also down low with Klingon and Caravan. When Caravan's out, Samson Johnson can defend the paint well as well. So, you know they're in the top 25 in many offensive categories, defensive categories. I don't see this game being anything but a blowout personally. There's nothing Xavier can do here or anything they have better than UConn except maybe free throw percentage, but that won't matter in this spread. It won't be close, so I'm going to take UConn.
Yeah, I'd lean that way also, but I'm not betting this. Andy?
Yeah, I'm gonna side UConn too. I would not be surprised if this was a close game because it seems as if that's the way the Big East is kind of leaning right now. But the shooting just isn't really there for Xavier. It has to. If you're gonna keep up with UConn, you can't do what they did yesterday. They didn't hit a three for the first half. They were lucky. Butler really didn't play well. Butler fouled a lot yesterday, but UConn's not going to do that. They're a disciplined team, and they're going to hit threes. You're not going to hold them to no threes. So you have to keep up with them, and I don't see that happening if you're not hitting your own threes. So I think UConn should get a lot of work done early. Maybe they take their foot off the gas because it is a tournament, but I don't know if this team's built that way. So I'm going to go UConn.
Connecticut across the board with an under from Toast. And our poll is definitely on UConn here. 61%, 24% on Connecticut. Next, Florida State, North Carolina. This is another one where I kind of want to lay here. I'm considering laying the 10.5. I know that's crazy, but I think the magic runs out for Florida State here. Scoop.
Yeah, I mean, Florida State's run was nice, but North Carolina's going to come in and deck them. Jameer Watkins isn't going to have the type of game they just had against Virginia Tech. After seeing Miami and Virginia Tech facing North Carolina in a third straight day isn't great for them. North Carolina's defensively is just going to completely shut down his team. I know Florida State actually kept both Carolina games under 10 points in each of their matchups, but these teams haven't even faced off since January. Since then, Florida State only had a bunch of mediocre wins, terrible losses to Louisville, Georgia Tech. Plus, North Carolina's coming off that big Duke win. They were 47% from three. They out-rebounded them. They'll definitely do the same here. I expect their three ball to fall. RJ Davis is the best player in the game. They're going to limit the turnovers because Florida State's not Duke. Plus, UNC hit 75 points in 4 straight games. I could see 85 plus here, so I'll lay the points.
Yeah, was the deciding factor. The fact that North Carolina's offense is starting to show up, because for a lot of the season they were just being led by their defense. But if the offense is showing up too, it should be a blowout. Toast?
No, I'll be taking the points. I'll take the 10.5
That's a bad pick.
Florida State here. I understand how good our North Carolina is. There's no question about that. But I actually think it's kind of more of a letdown spot. I understand it's the ACC tournament, but coming off that huge win against Duke, they really don't have anything to play for. Florida State's definitely on the outside looking in. Back-to-back wins against Miami and Virginia Tech. Obviously, those teams are not even nowhere close to the level that North Carolina is. But on a neutral floor, I think both of these teams play at a very high pace. So I just feel like Florida State is always going to be in this game. So unless they get absolutely blown out by 20, it is what it is. But even if they're down by 14 to 16, whatever points, 5 minutes to go with that pace, I think that Florida State might be able to backdoor cover this. So I'll gladly take the 10.5.
Yeah, you're on the wrong side here.
I didn't bet it, so it's okay.
Andy?
Yeah, I said it yesterday to you. I think Florida State's got a shot to win the game. Not necessarily betting that they will. I do think they'll cover. It's not my favorite though. I think this could get ugly because the 12 o'clock games have gotten ugly the last 2 days. But if there was a team that I think could pull an upset today, this is probably the
what?
one.
What are you guys
They're
basing
hot.
that on?
They're big.
They're coming in hot. Yeah.
Florida State sucks, man.
The one thing everybody always talks about UNC's rebounding, but this is a spot where they're facing a big team. Like they're facing a team with a lot of length, and that's
team. They
they just have to get the rebounds. Some teams don't. Some teams struggle to do it, but if you have the length, you have the opportunity to do it. And they're much bigger than UNC, so I think they have a shot to win this game.
Not to mention, I'm pretty sure we can say it, Leonard Hamilton is a better coach.
Oh, 100%.
Mr. Davis.
Not even
So
close.
we'll take the coach too.
How many minutes is Leonard Hamilton going to play?
Can't. He's in his 70s. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't put him on the floor.
All right. I got Andy up first for this one. I actually didn't do the – let's get Scoop up first of the Big Ten game. All right. Minnesota, Michigan State. When I made the graphics, the line was 6.5. I think it's down to 6 now.
Gross.
Gross. I don't see any reason to lay the 6 with Michigan State, Scoop. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm going to take the points. It just seems like a lot for a competitive Minnesota team. I know probably everyone's on Minnesota, like Toast just said, but
It's reverse.
I know Izzo does it time and time again in tournaments. That's whether it's in the Big Ten tournament or NCAA tournament. This team's really average this year. They're 1-4 down the stretch, only beating Northwestern. That game was a sloppy 101 point combined game where Northwestern had some injuries to deal with. These two split on each other's floor. I just think Minnesota's covered all year, not so much down the stretch, but they've been competitive in every game. Michigan State has a better defense in metrics, but I don't see how this game can be laying this many points to a Minnesota team. They're not that great of a defensive presence in the paint. I can see Garcia having a good game. Minnesota State's 0-4 against the spread. Their last 4 as a favorite. Minnesota's 8-2 against the spread as an underdog the last 10. They covered both games this year. I'm going to rely on their hot shooting like they've been doing all year, so I'm going to take Minnesota.
Yeah.
And we're going to fade Mike Izzo.
January, February is Mike Izzo.
Mike Izzo.
I'm on Minnesota also. I know that's probably a little bit of a public dog, but there's a lot of people taking Michigan State. It's Michigan State in March, man. They're taking action.
Not really.
Yes, they are, bro. We're polling almost even.
Okay.
Minnesota. Toast.
Okay.
Go ahead, take Michigan State.
Michigan State for me. World's on Minnesota. Line moves backwards the whole point. I'll take -6.5 with Mr. Izzo on pure line movement alone.
The line moved towards Minnesota.
It was 7.5. Everybody in the world was on Minnesota, and now it's at 6.5. That tells me that it moved towards Michigan State.
It's at 6.5. Yeah, I was seeing 6s before. Andrew.
I like the Izzo and March angle. That's what I've been going with. But also, Minnesota's turning the ball over a ton. Michigan State's a very tough defense. Can't turn the ball over and give them extra possessions. I think Michigan State covers this one. Not necessarily easy, but as Scoop alluded to, they were covering most of the season. Down the stretch, they weren't. They had a couple games there where they weren't covering at home, I think, a few times too. So now you get a neutral site. You get a guy who
Is it a neutral site? Someone in the comments just said,
you're right. It is in Minnesota. You're not wrong.
It's 5 minutes from their campus. So
yeah, you're fair about that, but it is a neutral court for sure. It's not their home court.
I don't think it's neutral.
Okay, but
Hostile territory for Mike Izzo.
But you've got a guy who,
Plus, Ben Johnson's a better coach than Tom Izzo. Anyway,
okay. We're just gonna lie.
They
here.
haven't
That's
played
fine.
a game there all year.
But yeah, Izzo is Izzo's the go here. You gotta go with him.
All right, me and Scoop on the Gophers.
It's time for Tom Izzo to retire.
48%, 39%. So Minnesota won the poll, but there's a lot of people bet Michigan State. It's pretty split. Next up, BYU, Texas Tech, and you already know what me and Toast are doing here. We're riding with our guys, man. We're Team BYU, me and Toast. We were the only two on them yesterday. We got the win. They actually made it interesting for a little bit. UCF did, but BYU was in control start to finish. Got the win, got the cover. I expect them to do the same here against a Texas Tech team that hasn't been able to play defense away from Lubbock all year. So, yeah, this isn't a true road game, but Texas Tech's defense on the road was one of the worst in college basketball this year. So, Toast has a bet. I wish I tailed them. Toast has a bet BYU long shot to win the Big 12. I'm riding it. BYU up.
Yeah, like he said, I came into this tournament knowing that I was going to be riding BYU, and I just can't stop here. Texas Tech on the road, I understand this is a neutral, but anywhere away from home, like Saw said, it's just a completely different basketball team. They've completely fallen off a cliff. And I think that people are a little bit like taking their 3-game win streak against a terrible West Virginia team, a terrible Oklahoma State team, and then they had a solid win against Baylor to end the year at home, again, at home. But I think people are looking at that when they faced better competition like Texas, UCF, Iowa State. Yes, I think TCU is shit, so I don't put them in there. They've lost all those games. So I think BYU has just way too many advantages here, especially offensively, actually, and playing in that building the day before. Just too many advantages here. So, yeah, BYU all day for me.
It's up to 3 now, so I'm betting it at 3 right now so I don't miss it. Because I actually see a 3.5 on FanDuel, so I'm getting in now at 3.
Yeah, I bet money line at 128.
I got a -3 at -108 on DraftKings right now. All right, Scoop, have you finally decided to come to the dark side and side with BYU?
Yeah, I'm gonna take BYU.
Welcome aboard.
Like you said, Texas Tech sucks away from Lubbock. And plus, I don't see them scoring 53 points in the second half like you did last game against BYU. BYU had that game as a road team and let it slip away. BYU is going to do what they do. They shoot a ton of threes. They do it the most in the nation. They drive the basket, find the open kick out. Not sure if Washington's playing for Texas Tech either. He's a big presence in the middle. If he doesn't, BYU should also be able to score pretty easily in the paint. BYU dominates on the glass too, 11th in rebounding, 51st in offensive boards. They're going to get second chances, move the ball around. They're second in assists per game. They're a great offense. These Mormons can shoot. They're going to keep shooting. Really, Pop Isaac's been off all year. He's pretty much regressed, I think. Darian Williams would be a better fit right now in that offense. I don't know why he's not starting, but BYU's hot. Maybe I'm starting to agree with Toast and BYU can win the tournament. So, yeah, I'll take BYU.
Scoop, I'm glad to have you on our squad here, on the BYU squad. Up. Andy, you know what to do here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I
welcome
said
aboard.
I think I said it yesterday when we were watching the UCF game. This team, I mean, when they're hitting shots, they're one of the best teams in this conference, if not the best. Plus, they're facing a Texas Tech team. You guys all said it. Everyone said the same thing. I'll reiterate it the 4th time. Texas Tech is nowhere near as good on defense away from Lubbock. That's just the truth. So, and if this team hitting shots, we saw it yesterday. That they're an unstoppable force when they're hitting shots. So, give me BYU.
Did we mention?
Was that mentioned?
So, something I want to add: Texas Tech, their defense not as good away from home. So. That's a factor.
And if you guys don't want to hear the away from home thing, just their defenses in general, overall, adjusted efficiency, Texas Tech 53rd in the country, BYU 49. So it's not like
even offensively, they're pretty bad away from home. Just in general, they suck away from home.
So it looks like everyone has boarded the BYU train. 78% clicked on BYU. So everyone's betting BYU, and I'm here for it.
Love it.
Next. And yeah, someone was talking about how the graphics had the wrong line. Dude, these lines move. I can't. I mean,
to make a 25 or a 15 thing show, you might be lucky if 4 lines are still the same.
Yeah. The moment after I sent him the pick graphics, the Baylor line moved almost as I clicked send. Like it happens so quickly sometimes.
There's nothing.
We try to wait to the last minute to do the graphics to get them close, but it's impossible. So we got Mississippi State, LSU. You guys already know. We did this one before the show. I'm on Mississippi State. I already bet it. Toast, or actually, let's bring Andy up for SEC.
And Scoop, didn't you have injury news on that? Like, seriously, I'm not even talking shit.
For what?
The LSU Mississippi State game?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding.
I know Jalen Cook's suspended for LSU, so he's not playing, and he's their leading scorer. So
Okay,
Well, then that's significant.
that's what it was. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
on
my big.
Mississippi State, right?
Yeah, this is my favorite bet of the day too. This is we saw this game it was like 2 weeks ago, I think. You had it on the spreadsheet. The LSU has faced nobody, and the one game they played somebody good. They went they hosted, I believe. The game was at home against Mississippi State, and they lost by 20, and it was not close. So pretty much I expect the exact same thing. I'm not going to get all crazy about LSU because they went on a hot streak late in the season. They literally were beating the final 4 teams in the SEC. They beat Georgia. They beat Arkansas. I know they lost Arkansas. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat Missouri. Am I supposed to be impressed by that? Those teams are awful. And they weren't like crushing those teams. So I'm not impressed by the hot streak. Mississippi State's been facing every tough team you could imagine in the SEC. So I'm 100% on Mississippi State coming into this tournament.
Next up, let's talk to Mr. Scoop. And Scoop, are you with us on Mississippi State?
yeah, I know both of these teams are kind of disappointing. Probably Mississippi State more than LSU because of expectations, but Mississippi State is better on both ends of the ball here. They're miles away better defensively. LSU has a negative turnover to assist ratio, something that Mississippi State's defense are really going to take advantage of. LSU hasn't looked good all year. Like Andy said, those 4 games, they had pretty much the easiest cakewalk schedule at the end of the year. They had that nice little Kentucky, South Carolina stretch, but then this Mississippi State team beat them by 20 in LSU. Plus, this LSU team lost to Arkansas. Definitely could have lost to Missouri. They almost blew that game late. What's funny is after that LSU game for Mississippi State, they lost all 4 the rest of the way. But Mississippi State's played the top of the conference, while, like I said, LSU had a cakewalk. Mississippi State should win here by crashing the board. They're scoring inside, playing the same defense they have been. Like I said before, Jalen Cook's suspended. He was their leading scorer. I don't see any reason you could take LSU here.
Toast?
Yeah, I can't add much. Love Mississippi State as well. You guys pretty much took all the talking points. Only thing I can really add, LSU's a little bit bigger than Mississippi State, but LSU does a really terrible job rebounding, and Mississippi State's dogs on the rebounding. So anything that there's an advantage with height, I think the grit and just tenacity of Mississippi State's going to make up for that. So yeah, I love Mississippi State here as well.
Someone, floorgasm. I just got here, instantly want to fade Scoop.
Dude, and then I get that. Then I get one that later says Scoop knows, and then I'm the most polarizing person on the show, I think. So.
The comments are just always wild, brother.
Next
fantastic.
up, we got Maryland, Wisconsin. We're talking some Big Ten.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, that was why I was surprised that you were even like on Maryland this crazy.
I didn't, because I made my bets the night before.
Yeah.
Then don't worry about that. Who cares? The line dropped to 3, so you got some line movement.
I'm worried.
Yeah, I know. That's been an absolute killer for me.
Take Wisconsin then.
I am taking Wisconsin. I'm worried.
Oh my
you
God,
guys.
that's a bad.
I think
I'm worried for you guys.
I'm worried for you guys. I will give Maryland credit. They did exactly what we expected them to do. They shut down Rutgers. Rutgers' offense is awful. I think Wisconsin's offense is slightly better, but that's not really saying much. I think Wisconsin's just in a good spot here. I think they're going to win this one. They've kind of been coasting the rest of the end of the season. They are not very good away from home, but Maryland is, as I've been saying, I think they are very loved for no reason in these types of games. Like,
Who loves Maryland?
I don't know, but whenever these lines come out, like in theory, this team is not this good. Like, they're not 3 points worse than Wisconsin. They're like 7 or 8. But I think they're getting
Andy,
a lot
if
of
they
love.
put a
because they
7
play
on the
defense.
board. If they put a 7 on the board, the books
No,
would get
it would go
absolutely
down.
murdered.
I agree with you 100%. It'd go down immediately. But this team gets so much love because of their defense, but their offense completely takes me away from them. So I'm on Wisconsin for that reason. I know everybody says defense travels, but sometimes you're just not good enough offensively. So that's how I feel about Maryland.
I think that's the wrong side, Andy. Scoop?
Yeah, I'm going to take Maryland. Wisconsin's still locked in this tournament. I can't wait till I picked against them for their first round exit. These two just played each other last month. Wisconsin got the 4-point win, didn't cover the spread like usual. Wisconsin's been on auto fade right now. If they're playing a semi-decent team, that Purdue game they covered didn't do anything. Purdue had nothing to play for. Wisconsin still lost. They're 3-8 down the stretch. Even though Maryland's a below-average offense, their defense should be able to do enough to keep Wisconsin in check. Jameer Young should be able to score here as long as Reese can keep Wall contained down low. They'll do enough to earn a win, I think. I don't like Wisconsin's guards at all. AJ Storr is a decent scorer, and Klesman and Hepburn, I feel, are just there. They don't do anything for Wisconsin. I think Blackwell off the bench is better than both of them. He's not getting enough minutes. But yeah, Maryland's defense should definitely be able to shut down Wisconsin. Wisconsin blows. This team sucks. I'm going to take Maryland.
Someone said it was 4.5 now. It dropped to 3 before.
It's 4.5. I'm dead.
It's 4.5.
I'm dead.
Is it? Yeah, it is 4.5.
Good.
And I'm dead.
More points for the Terps.
And I'm dead.
Why? Who cares?
That's what he said.
I've seen this. I've been getting throttled.
Maryland's
all year.
winning anyway.
I've seen this movie many times.
Nah, but you know what? You've had bad luck when you have the CLV. So maybe.
Oh, I know.
I'm taking it.
Yeah, it needs to be the other way.
Yeah. So anyway, I like Maryland. I'm sorry. Yeah, I like Maryland a lot here. Look, first of all, I'll just start with Wisconsin. In what world is Wisconsin laying points to any team other than Rutgers in this conference? I mean, look, we can go back to February 1st. We're in March 14th now. This team has 2 wins, one against Ohio State, the other one against Maryland. I'm sorry, 3 wins, and the other one against Rutgers. I just don't see them coming here on a neutral against a team with Maryland who has everything to play for with a defense to back it up. I just don't see them coming out here and winning by multiple possessions. So I think Maryland matches up very well with them. I think this is going to be an ugly game. I think points are going to be at a premium, so I'm more than happy to take a couple possessions in my pocket.
Yep, I am betting it. Check your location. Come on, ESPN Bet. All right, you check my location. Yo, I'm in the middle of something, ESPN Bet. Let's go. There we go. Bet placed. I'm in. All right, I'm on the Terps. Let's do it, Terps. So our poll's pretty split here. We got 44%, 41%. So Maryland slightly wins the poll, but that one's pretty 50-50 split. Andy on a Wisconsin Island. Next up, St. John's, Seton Hall.
Oh, yeah.
All right. This is the game, right?
It's the game.
Who do you like in the game?
I was with, I think Toast said it before the game. I don't know how you don't take St. John's. The way that I looked at it was these teams played. They played a game, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and St. John's dominated. They were up by 19 in the second half, and then as they were playing badly, they choked it away, right? Seton Hall won the game, and it kind of put St. John's in a spiral. And then they completely twisted. They've beaten Creighton since then. They've had a really good run since then. While Seton Hall away from home has still been a pretty bad basketball team. Like when they don't play at home, they're pretty bad. They're getting blown out on the road. And this isn't a home game. This is in MSG. This is a de facto home game for St. John's. Even though they're the lower seed, so they're technically away, it's their home stadium. So anytime Seton Hall plays away from home, they're pretty much an auto fade at this point. So I'm going St. John's. I think they're going to win the game. I think it's 4.5 now. It was 3.5 when I did the pick graphics, but all week I've kind of thought, hey, there's a shot here for Seton Hall. But I just think St. John's is the better team, playing better, and they're at home here, so I'm on St. John's.
Toast, you're on the Johnnies too?
Yeah, they picked everything is to me says that this is like a win and get in. I was trying to find it, but they ended up. I think St. John's picked up an extra quad 1 win last night. Seton Hall is actually I think firmly in the tournament as far as March is concerned. So St. John's is essentially in a spot right now where if they win, they're going to be in the conference or the NCAA tournament here because they would pick up another quad 1 win. So yeah, it's just really hard for me to go against St. John's here.
Scoop, I kind of wanted to be on the other side.
I wanted to be. I really do.
Well, maybe Scoop will side with me. You like Seton Hall?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Seton Hall.
Let's
I love
do
the pie
it.
chart. Everyone's on St. John's. Should be
That's
one of the
my
best games of the day, especially because both teams are right on the bubble fighting to get in.
And it's Seton Hall, St. John's, and MSG.
Seton Hall swept the regular season series, but they're still down to 3.5. The line's going down, so I like that even more. It's more how St. John's ended the season. I think they ended with 5 wins in a row after Patino put that stupid ass white suit on and yelled at the kids. And the fact that they're in the Garden, but Seton Hall plays right here too. It's only 17 miles down the road, which driving takes about 3 hours because it's New York. But Seton Hall shut down St. John's for 65 and 62 points in the regular season. They're actually a really strong defensive side. Seton Hall had that bit of a slide, but it was against Creighton and UConn, 2 of the favorites. Throughout the season, they competed, though. St. John's might be a little better offensively, but Seton Hall can go on runs, especially with Kadari Richmond, the best player in this game, in my opinion. Seton Hall can hit their threes, too. They are streaky, so you'll see them either go on a big streak in 10 in a row, or they're going to be down to a 10-0 run. But I do love the Seton Hall team. I think they'll cover this with this many points, or with them getting points. I'm going to side with them.
All right, 2 of us on Seton Hall. And for those of you that aren't from the East Coast and from this area, the three of us on the bottom here are from Jersey. This is huge. It's Seton Hall versus St. John's, the 2 local teams in Madison Square Garden. So this is,
and the winner is probably in the tournament. I don't know if
Yeah.
Seton Hall's as much.
This is like the biggest.
I don't think they are, dude. Their net ranking is like the 66th in the nation. That might come to bite them in the ass.
Every bracketologist I've talked to, lock it up.
The one that I have, the
St. John's or Seton
bracketologist,
Hall?
yeah, for who?
Seton Hall.
Seton Hall.
Seton
The
Hall.
one
Really?
that the bracketologist that I talked to also says they're a lock. I don't know if the net ranking is going to.
Either way, this will put whoever I think in.
Well, the Garden's going to be
St. John's wins, they're in. There's no question.
The Garden's
Yeah.
going to be rocky for this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
At 2:30 p.m. If you're able to put this on, if you aren't working or whatever, this would be a crazy game to watch. Next up, Wake Pitt.
Wake Pitt. That all
Significant down compared to UConn. I mean, St. John's and Seton Hall.
Wake Forest -2.5. We got Pittsburgh +2.5 pass. All right. Poll is running. Cast your votes. Tell me how I'm not taking Pitt here, because based on we were looking before the show started, I'm on Pitt. I'm down to bet it if these guys are down to co-sign it. Scoop?
Yeah, I'm going to take Pitt too. Wake's just been inconsistent all season. It's hard to back them in a tournament. I actually think Wake is a better team than Pitt. I mean, winning
Not
over
right
Notre
now,
Dame,
though.
No, not right now. It's down the stretch, though. Pitt's been on fire. I mean, Wake beating Notre Dame is whatever. Everyone does that. Pitt's a strong team themselves, like you said, especially the second half of the season. They went 11-3, including wins over Duke, Virginia, Wake. Actually, what's funny is their worst game of the stretch was actually at Wake. That game was done from the tip. Pitt let them shoot 60% of the floor, for 50% from the field, from the three. I don't know. I just like Pitt here. Then they followed that Pitt game with a Duke win and fell apart, Wake Forest. Like I said, they're very inconsistent. Both of these teams are right on the bubble, too. This should be a good one throughout, but I'm going to go with Pitt. It's easier to trust them in a game like this. They have a top 25 in assist turnover ratio. They'll find someone open for 3. They shoot them a ton. But that and Pitt's really good 3-point perimeter defense, I'm going to grab them here in the points.
Yeah, all right. So I agree. Toast, do you agree with us? Do you agree with us, Toast?
I do not.
I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong.
Like Wake Forest here, played it last night at 1.5 on FanDuel. The model really likes it as well.
Fuck the model, bro.
Pitt. I agree.
It's
2.5. Agree with you on that. 100% agree with you on that this year. But the fact of the matter is that I think that Wake Forest is a team that's still fighting to be on the bubble. I understand they're very consistent. There's no way to argue that. Those 3 losses after that huge Duke win is a good example of that. But going on the road, beating Clemson and then coming on the road here in that neutral, I think that Notre Dame is a lot better than a lot of people give them credit for. I understand that they're 123 on Ken Pom and they're, what were they, 7-13 on in the conference. But I think that Notre Dame team is much better than we give them credit for. I just don't think that this Pitt's team's very good. I have some friends, the people that you were in the spaces with, Kyle, all love Wake too, because they're all Pitt. Some of them are Pitt guys.
They like Wake.
I just think that the guard plays better. I'll take Hunter Silas over Blake Henson and all those guys anyway, no matter what. So, I'll take my chances with Wake.
Andy. Oh, by the way, after you left yesterday, so Andy was in the office yesterday. He live bet Notre Dame plus 13.5. You got the hook, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You got the hook.
That was a good moment. That was funny. Yeah. Notre Dame is better than people give them credit for.
No, they're not.
They were much better this year than even I thought they would be. I thought they would have like 5 wins all year. They were
Thank
pretty
you,
good.
Andy.
Last 5 wins for Pitt: NC State, Florida State, Boston College, Virginia Tech, and Louisville. They've beaten the bottom feeders of the ACC the last month. They haven't won a meaningful game since way before that. So I'm 100% on Wake here. At least as bad as they were playing late, they beat Clemson on Saturday, and then they won yesterday by 13 against a solid team, as we said. So they're pretty. They're
You mean wait?
Now, so.
Are you the same Virginia Tech team that smacked the shit out of Wake Forest? That same team?
Whoa. We talked about that. They had a 3-game letdown spot pretty much after beating Duke. I don't know what happened to Wake Forest. They didn't look good, but they've rebounded well. They beat Clemson, and then they beat now Notre Dame in the first game of this tournament. They've seen shots go in at this arena now. They're ready to go in here and win this game. I know. I think it's 2.5 now. Now we're getting it's getting a little much higher than I thought it would get. I thought it would be. I thought even this game would be a pick'em because these teams are very equal. But I'll take Wake because I do think they're the better team.
Yeah, I'm not gonna place it then. I don't like being on an island with Scoop. 49%, 38% towards Pitt. So Pitt wins the poll there. Community leaning towards Pitt, but it's pretty split. Next up, TCU Houston, aka the
11 now.
the only 1 seed without an offense. The Houston Cougars.
They don't need it.
So TCU.
Hold on. just want to double check. Yep, still top 10 in Ken Palm and as far as offense.
Oh no way, Ken Palm, get out.
Just making
Don't
sure.
do that.
All
Not
right,
Ken Palm.
Let's bring Toast up to defend his favorite team in the country. Oh, go ahead. Toast, would you lay the 10?
It's 11 now, still climbing. I would lean TCU. Huge win for this team yesterday. I don't really know what Houston's going to play for. I mean, the fact that they're in the Big 12 for the first tournament for the first time. But again, it's just the line is just continuing to climb. So maybe that's a good indication that the books don't want to have too many points laying with Houston. But yeah, I'll take the points. It's at 11 now. It's going to continue to get higher. So yeah, I'll take my chances with 11.5 on BetMGM now.
I'll just go on the other side, but I really don't know. I'm not betting this game.
It's just too many points in a conference.
There's such better value on the board than this one. Scoop.
I'm gonna go with Houston. TCU got a big win to help their tournament's hope. And TCU actually had a win against Houston, but I don't think Houston loses here. I think they'll cover. It's climbing, like you guys said. I'm probably not going to bet it, but Houston is 14-1 after that TCU game. I know they're against the spread numbers aren't that great. They did look good, great against Kansas. That they even caused Bill Self to rest their starters with how bad they got beat down. Oklahoma's a joke, so that game really doesn't mean anything. Like, little TCU jump out to a huge lead, couldn't fight back. Houston shot really bad that TCU game earlier in the season. It was an off game. I'm not saying they're lights out by any means. They have an okay offense, but they do average 35% from 3. With their defense, they're going to make TCU turn the ball over a ton. They just gave up 16 turnovers yesterday to Oklahoma. I can even see more of this game. I just can't see TCU hanging on both sides of the ball long enough to keep this close. I think first half they might stay in it, but the full game I'm going to lay the points.
Someone said you guys ain't betting all these games. Yeah, if you listen, we say which ones.
We literally say that.
We say which ones we're betting. I'm actually going to bet this. We'll say that.
We do games we can't physically bet actually too.
Yeah,
right. I couldn't do Seton.
Versatile.
I'm not betting.
Would you if you gun to your head, Andy, you're forced to make a bet against the spread? Would you lay it?
Oh, I don't want to pull the trigger. I'll take TCU. I'll take TCU.
Kill me, please.
I choose
death.
I'll
take TCU. I'll take him just because they've seen the shots go in on at the stadium. I do think there's something to be said about that. I've gone back and forth on that, but they played well yesterday. I think Oklahoma also didn't. They didn't show up. I was very surprised, but that was maybe the most surprise result of yesterday. But I would take TCU here just because it is a very high number. As good as Houston is, their offense doesn't exactly scream they're going to blow everybody out, although they did do that to Kansas. But on a neutral site, I'm not laying that.
I got a frog emoji in from Super Guppy. Super Guppy likes the horned frogs here. Poll leans towards Houston. I'm sorry.
I use gun to my head a lot. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say pull the trigger.
Especially with because I can't decide which team to bet. All right, so Arizona versus USC. This is a really hard one. I almost wish they didn't just play, because then I feel the decision would be easy, and USC would be the easy bet if they didn't just play. But the fact that they just played and Arizona's like fresh in their head, they know what USC's coming in here to do, makes it a little challenging. I'm going to still go with the Trojans. I didn't actually bet this. I'm waiting to see what these guys say. Toast is big on this USC team. He was on a USC island yesterday. Got us all. All three of us had Washington except him. I'll put USC up for me, but whether or not I actually bet it comes down to what these guys say. So, Andy, can you talk me into a bet?
I'm not going to be the one that's able to completely sell you on it, but I am on USC. A lot of it is because I know there's so much confidence in this team right now. They're the hottest team in power conference basketball. I don't necessarily know about mid-majors, but they are the hottest team in power conference basketball. And that game yesterday kind of proved it. Their backs were kind of against the wall late in the game. They were in a close game with a very experienced team, and they came out on top, and they covered, and they looked great. So, and they're scoring a lot more than they were earlier in the year. Boogie and Isaiah Collier are both playing well at the same time. We always said they needed to do that. They're finally doing that. So, they're giving us their best fastball every day. So I have them covering here.
Scoop.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the points too. I'm gonna stick with the hot team, like Andy said. Obviously, Arizona's the better team here. We're not gonna say he's not. And I know Arizona wasn't playing for anything in that last game, but their starters still did play. USC did just lock them down. And I also agree with Kai. I wish this game was played earlier. I wish they didn't just see each other. But USC, they won 6 of their last 8. Their losses were both by 3 points each. I said against Washington, USC only had Boogie Ellis and Collier, but Kobe played well on both sides of the ball too, came through with some great steals. Something USC is doing right now is playing great defense. Maybe this team found its footing really late. They were a preseason top 10 team after all. With the talent they have, they can compete with Arizona, I think. You could say maybe earlier in the year, Arizona beat USC in one of those games this season already, but Ellis and Collier didn't even play that game. Arizona doesn't do great defending against the perimeter. If USC is shooting hot behind the three, you can see guys definitely take a shot, and even guys like DJ Rodman, who is awesome at the three. I can maybe see an upset here. Arizona, I think, is going to be a weaker of the 1 seeds too, so I will take USC.
If you were to do a top 5 bets today, each Scoop, would USC make it?
That's a loaded question.
It's really not.
I mean, there's 60 games, so I mean,
I have to start if you could ballpark whether they would be close.
Wouldn't. I wouldn't. No.
Toast, are you sticking with your boys?
Absolutely. Bet them last night. I bet them on the money line as well last night. At plus 360. Like I told you guys, I think this USC team is going to win the Pac-12 tournament. For them to do that, they're going to have to win here today. Just to touch on a couple points that Scoop talked about, this team is loaded with talent all across the board. Isaiah Collier, Kobe Johnson were both lottery talent type picks. And then not to mention you have Boogie Ellis, who's like a 7th-year senior that just is able to do what he does. And it's the same thing I touched on before about this USC team, is that playing against a team like Arizona is much bigger than everybody else. They're able to body teams. They're able to score easy buckets. They cannot do that against USC. USC is one of the biggest teams in the country with talent. They're not going to be able to play the same way that they used to playing. The first time that they played USC, they didn't have their main guys, like Scoop alluded to as well. So I just don't understand how you can not take the points with USC here, who, like I've alluded to many times on this show multiple times, is playing fantastic. I've been trying to pound the table for this team, for the last couple of weeks now, and they've continued to win for me. So I'm going to continue to ride with them here today.
USC plus 8.5. Yeah. I mean, everyone's taking it. Damn.
See what AJ just said? He said it's Jaden DeLora night.
Jaden DeLora night. He's not even at the school anymore. Where is they? Oh, wait, no. Is he still?
Texas State. Texas State, I believe it was.
Texas
I believe
State.
we went through that a few weeks ago.
Yeah. He transferred somewhere else first.
Yeah. And
he
they
transferred
didn't want
twice.
or something happened.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, poll is on USC, too. So, if you're taking USC, just know you're on a very public dog, and I'm not saying that means you shouldn't take them. Just know it. Next up, Arkansas, South Carolina. Let's bring Andy up to talk about the SEC. Andy, I know that you're not very fond of this South Carolina team. You think they peaked too early.
I do.
That being said, would you say Arkansas is live here?
I would say if any SEC team was to pull like a legitimate upset today, so if it was either LSU, it was Arkansas or Georgia, it would probably be Arkansas would be my bet here. I'm going to take them to cover. They did not look good yesterday. I won't lie. Down 14 to Vanderbilt at half it would have been rock bottom had they not come back. They did look really good late in the game, though. I know Vanderbilt's not good, but they played really well in the second half. What did you last do for me? They played very well. That's a big thing for them. Teams in the SEC that play on the first night, they tend to have pretty good games the next night. You talked about that with Vanderbilt. Arkansas is a team that's done that in the past. And I don't think South Carolina is that crazy. I don't think they're that good. You said it perfectly. I do think they peaked early. They've looked a little bit better down the stretch. I just think Arkansas, after their worst game, will come back and have a much better performance. I don't think they'll win, but if there was an SEC team that I think is going to pull an upset today, it's the Razorbacks. So
I'm with you. Hogs up, man. I'm on the Hogs too. Scoop is wearing a South Carolina shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the shirt do the talking, Cox, with the South Carolina thing there. Yeah, we're talking postseason, Cox now, boys. I'm boned up for this game. Arkansas almost lost to Vandy. We all know the script. The Cox are gonna come out strong and cover this game. I was taking South Carolina as soon as this line came out, whether it was Vanderbilt or Arkansas. I actually think South Carolina matches up against Arkansas better, to be honest. This team's 11-3. Losses to Tennessee where they should have covered. Auburn, they got blown out, whatever. But that LSU was a rough one. But this team's in every single game. I don't know how many times they have to prove that they're in every game. Arkansas is a bad team. They couldn't cover against Vandy. They let them shoot over 50% in the floor, 40% from three. If that's what the defense is going to do against Vandy, then South Carolina is going to have a field day. BJ Maback is going to shit on Battle down low. Battle's no cock blocker. BJ will get his points. Michi Johnson's going to find his shot. Taylon Cooper is one of the best three-point shooters in the league. And that's just the offensive side of the ball. They're even better defensively where they stand up tall and erect in the paint. South Carolina's going to cover Cox over the Hogs today, baby.
I'm boned up for this game. Is wild, man.
I can't even follow that. Give me Arkansas on the point. I'm not saying another word.
Cox and the Hogs is a good.
I actually like the bet, though. All jokes aside, I actually am going to bet Arkansas.
But
yeah,
I'm not following that.
You guys are going to be sorry, man.
I'm boned up for this game. It's crazy.
I lost. I couldn't even hear it after that.
It dropped to 5.5, by the way, guys.
Ooh,
sweet.
I got a good number earlier then.
I'm boned up for this game.
Boned up for this
All
game.
right, Arkansas, 5.5.
How many games are you boned up for today, Scoop?
Just one.
All jokes aside, would that be in your top 5 bets, you think, Scoop, or close?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Really? All right, so you really like
South Carolina's cash would be so much.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, so the polls definitely agree with Scoop here. They're also boned up for the game. 57-31% in favor of South Carolina. Next up. All right, we got Mountain West. All right, let's talk some Mountain West. Is this the championship game, I'm assuming?
No.
I know. I was testing to see if you guys knew.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did. I knew it wasn't. No, we got San Diego State versus UNLV here. Looks like San Diego State laying the points. This is a game we looked at the spreadsheets before we started when there was just a few of us in here. I think San Diego State should cover this, but I don't know much about this. Toast, have you looked at this one?
I have looked at it. The pie charts are quite concerning.
But I don't know about those pie charts though, because
Okay.
it looks like everyone's clicking San Diego State in the poll.
Okay, yeah, I would actually lean UNLV here. I understand how good San Diego State has been, but UNLV has been a sneaky, very good team since the beginning, or since the end of January. Only 2 losses, and both of those losses came to Nevada. And Nevada is one of the teams that, is one of the surprising teams in the Mountain West Conference this year. Went 13-5 in conference. So losing to that team, even though it was twice, it's really hard to fault them. They had some bad losses earlier in the year in Air Force, but they've been playing really good basketball right now. And I really think that their points are going to be at a premium here today. UNLV likes to slow the pace down, and San Diego State's not one of those teams that's really going to push the pace either. San Diego State doesn't shoot the 3-ball well, so unless they're just completely eating all day inside, like I said, I think that UNLV can keep this game close. So I'll take the points here with UNLV.
I'm on the other side here, but I didn't bet it yet. Florgasm said it best. Listen, buddy, SDSU is the bet.
Buddy.
Buddy.
Yeah, Andy, last night after you left, I put that clip on for AJ. He was dying.
Of course he was. Of course he was.
You're like, why don't you look at the effective field goal percentage, buddy?
I realized that I sounded like a high school kid, just
Yep.
like the geeky high school kid, just like
spot on.
Wait, what game were we talking about anyway? I forgot.
That.
Oklahoma, TCU.
Yeah, and I was completely. You said they had a better defense than Oklahoma, and I was like, "You sure, buddy?" Look at
and the TCU won anyway.
the FGs. Yeah,
And Scoop won that game.
100% right.
Where are you on this one, Andy?
I'm with you. I would side San Diego State. I don't like this. They're actually very even teams when you go through KenPom and everything. Look at the even teams, but the rebounding is slightly in San Diego State's edge, and when conference tournaments, rebounding is probably the most important thing in the game. You have to have extra possessions. If you give up extra possessions, you're probably going to lose. Most of the time, the team that's out rebounded, if it's a significant margin, will be very behind in these games. So I'm on San Diego State, but it would not even be close to my top 5 today. It'd probably be last.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the programs, but based on what I was just looking at a spreadsheet, the production in the last 5 games, last 10 games, and it seemed like San Diego State was significantly better. But again, it's not like I'm following Mountain West basketball all year. Scoop, did you able to take a look at this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a kind of revenge spot here. This game just happened where UNLV just beat San Diego State at home. Obviously, this isn't technically a home game. UNLV is playing on their home court, which is why I think they're getting a little more. Actually, I think this should be closer to 7, maybe. If this game was played somewhere else, like I said, it would be a little higher in the spread. San Diego State has the best player in this game by a pretty big margin. Jaden Ledee is a great player and should really dominate down low here. Boone's skinny, and if someone like Ledee goes after him, he folds. He sells, as the youth likes to call it. San Diego State is just a better team. I don't see UNLV going back-to-back here winning. Plus, even though this is a home court, there's still going to be a ton more San Diego State fans in this one than they had there last week. San Diego State's defense actually held UNLV to 62 points last one, and they lost. They shot 28% from the field. Don't think that's going to happen again. UNLV's been hot, but San Diego's defense is a top 10 defense, and they're going to be better here. So I'm going to take SDSU.
I liked it. Yeah, I mean, I wish Toast was on our side. Why the hell are you going UNLV?
Because I watch a lot of Mountain West basketball.
Because unlike you, I watch these teams.
UNLV's been hot down the stretch. They've been awesome, but
52%, 35% poll. So the community, you guys, the viewers, are leaning towards San Diego State. Next up.
Not to mention the fact that anytime UNLV plays anywhere close to Las Vegas, it's usually lock it up, and they're playing in Las Vegas, so lock it up.
Or either lock it up or they're throwing the game.
Either way, we're winning. So
UCLA, Oregon. Let's talk some Pac-12. Let's get Toast up first for this one. He's got a weird thing for Pac-12 basketball.
You live on the West Coast, so it's not 4 a.m. when I watch the games.
It's not a mystery. It's not a mystery of why I like Pac-12 basketball. So we got UCLA, Oregon here, and because the Pac-12 played their games on Thursday nights, I actually got pretty familiar with the conference as the year progressed, and I don't trust either of these teams, man. I don't trust either of them. I guess the first thing I thought of was UCLA seems to do a real good job covering the number on the road. The defense seems to show up, so I guess this is technically a road game, neutral site game. So I guess I would lean UCLA +3, but I have no idea.
Yeah, this is definitely not an easy game to handicap. First and foremost, Oregon is a team I always like to say they're like a box of chocolates. You never really know what you're going to get with this team. They can look really good at times, and they can look really bad at times. I mean, if you go through their schedule, they have back-to-back wins against Oregon State and Stanford since January 18th, and since then it's win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. So they're coming off a huge home win against Utah. Not huge as far as the number, they won by 1, but that was huge for them. But now they face a UCLA team that all they do is play defense and slow the game down and make this game ugly. I just don't see how I don't take the points here. I understand that UCLA has been pretty damn bad at times, and they've lost 4 of their last 5 or 5 of their last 6 or whatever. But Utah is a much better team than Oregon, I feel. USC and Washington State, Arizona, all those 3 teams are good. And then they just kind of had a clunker against Washington. But I think the defenses show up here. I think points are going to be at a premium. Neither team plays at a very high pace, 9th and 12th respectively as far as average possession length in the conference. So I'm more than happy to take the points with UCLA.
Yeah, I put UCLA up for me too, but I'm not going to bet this one unless Scoop or Andy is about to hop on the mic and be like, "I'm on UCLA. It's my favorite bet of the day." I'm probably not going to bet this one. Andy?
No, I'm on the other side. It's similar to the way I feel. Similar to the way I feel about the Maryland game. Cool, you have a really good defense, and I do think defense travels, and that's something. That is definitely something. But
it's something.
You have for UCLA, you have just no offense, and you have to keep up with Oregon. Oregon is a much better. Like, you beat Oregon State yesterday, who's a pretty bad team, and they looked pretty good, dominated them for a while. But Oregon's just a very big step above them, and offensively, they're much quicker. They hit their jump shots. That is much different than Oregon State. So I think they will play much different against UCLA and play better. So I'm going to have them cover. As you said, it's not their greatest game because they are very similar. Like, UCLA's defense is that good, but I just think you have to have some semblance of offense in these conference tournaments, and they don't. They unfortunately, they just have nothing. So that's my big thought there.
Scoop?
I bet this last night. I got UCLA at 4.5 yesterday. I know they struggled at the end of the year, but 3 of those games were at Washington State, and Arizona. Oregon wasn't great against Utah that last game. They escaped with that win. UCLA is just a really solid defensive team. I think they'll keep Oregon under wraps here, especially since Oregon doesn't play well away from home. If Dylan Andrews and Adam Bona can shoot like this against Oregon, then I think UCLA takes this one on the money line. Plus, they won that game with Matt getting 0 points, Stefanovic with 6 because they were both in foul trouble. Those are the 2 of the top 4 scorers on the team. They still had a comfortable win there. I get Oregon's better than Oregon State defensively, but not by a drastic amount. I think Oregon's been overrated all year, so I think UCLA is going to knock them off back-to-back years here in the Pac-12 tournament.
So, all right, so Toast and Scoop are with me on UCLA.
It was so hard saying Oregon. I trained myself.
Oregon.
Oregon.
It's 43%, 40% on the Ducks. So poll slightly leaning Oregon. I'm not going to bet this one. Let's move on to the next one.
I bet it with you, Scoop.
Ohio State, Iowa, and are we just going to ride the lightning here? Ohio State kind of caught fire to finish the season out. I think I might lay 2 points with Ohio State. That's where I'm leaning. Toast?
That's the only way I can play it here. There's just no way in hell I get behind this Iowa team. I love to try. I don't really have much on this game because I'm not going to bet it, but there's just no way I can play Iowa. So yeah, it would be Ohio State, or a pass for me.
It's crazy if a month ago you said in the Big Ten tournament it's going to be Ohio State, Iowa, and Ohio State's going to be laying 2. I'd be like, what the fuck's going on? What do you mean? What are you talking about? But yeah, they got hot at the right time. Scoop, will you also be on Ohio State?
No, I'm going to take Iowa. I know they just got rocked in that whole game from Illinois, but I don't think they should be underdogs here personally. They had 2 Illinois losses, but beat teams that are equal or better than Ohio State in Northwestern, Wisconsin, Michigan State recently. I guess we're riding the new coach aspect and the wins down the stretch, but I still don't believe in this Ohio State team. Michigan, Rutgers wins don't really impress me, obviously. Iowa's one of the best offenses, especially in the second half of the season. Their defense is definitely suspect. They're pretty much garbage, but Iowa's going to run a very fast tempo, something Ohio State hasn't seen in a while and something Jake Diebler hasn't seen as a head coach yet. I think Iowa lights up the scoreboard here. Jameson Battle hasn't looked great lately, so if he's not on against a poor Iowa game, this is going to be a long game for Ohio State, so I'm going to grab Iowa in the points.
The Scoop takes Iowa. Was not expecting that.
Can you change mine to under? Or just tell everybody that I like the under.
You like the under instead?
Yeah.
You can tell them. No,
I'm not going to bet this, but I like Iowa.
You can tell them.
I mean, he doesn't have to do it for you. But
you have a microphone.
I'm I am also on Ohio State. I think they are besides if
Iowa.
USC. I mean USC's playing great, so they're probably the hottest team. But this is the second hottest team, and they did this last year. They went on a run last year in this tournament. People forget they were playing in the semifinal, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember exactly where I think it was, but yeah, they have a tendency to do this in the past. Now there's a different coach, and they're hot. They're better. I like Iowa. I will say that, but their defense just makes me sick every time I watch it. And if Ohio State comes in as fast and is playing as well as they are, they're going to be in trouble. So I think a combination of those things and the history that Ohio State has, I'm going to side Ohio State. Don't be surprised if this team goes on a run, but they would have to play Illinois next. So.
Did you see that comment?
Can you tell the chat that I'm not talking to them and also I'm on the under? Thanks.
Can you tell the chat I'm not speaking with them right now? And I'm on the under.
That was funny.
I hate you
That
all.
was good.
That was a good comment, man. Next up, Kansas State, Iowa State, and shit. I was wrong on this one yesterday.
It's pretty funny.
I faded Kansas State.
Somebody called me the hall monitor. That's a good. That's good.
All right, so I mean, I don't know. I guess Kansas State is going to make a little run at this, huh? I mean, Iowa State not at home. Iowa State at home has been the dangerous part all year. They're not technically at home here. I might be down to take the 6.5 if Kansas State's getting hot. What do you think, Scoop?
I'm going to take Iowa State. I definitely love Iowa State playing Kansas State right now after a bad loss at home, especially immediate revenge. It was literally the last game Iowa State just played. They played their worst offensive game of the season against Kansas State. They only had 58 points. That was tied for a season low. They did better in the second half, but that first half was atrocious. I don't see that happening again. Not saying Iowa State, like Houston, is lights out by any means, but they have a great they're great at turning assists. They're great at protecting the ball. They can really move the ball around, find their open shot. That first Kansas State game, they gave up 14 turnovers, one of their highest all year. Kansas State has a nice defense, but playing a tough Texas game and then playing the second best defense in the country is going to be rough. Coming off a Texas game where they shot 38% from three, when their season average is 31%, 290th in the country. I don't see that kind of production again against Iowa State. It's the kind of percentage you're going to see against Iowa State is what their averages around 32%. They're even better on the inside, and plus Texas against the three was 253rd defending the three. That Iowa State is way better than that, so I'm going to take Iowa State here.
I didn't even realize that these two teams just played. That scares me. I didn't even think about that. All right, so let's bring up Andy. I kind of might be leaning towards Iowa State now after hearing Scoop has made a compelling speech there.
Yeah, both teams in this season matchup, they played twice because they're in the Big 12. The home team won both times. I will say this. I thought Kansas played very well, but I also think Texas looked pretty bad. I think Toast texted it. It was surprising they came out that badly, and I regret betting on Texas ever.
As do I.
Yeah, I won't do it during the tournament. That team, whoever they play,
I was
whatever
right.
they play.
First round exit, I think.
Yeah,
right
whoever they play, whatever they play, doesn't matter who they play. I'm probably betting the other team, but so I think more that Kansas State didn't necessarily have to play very well yesterday. They played okay. Also, Iowa State's a much tougher team, so I'm gonna go Iowa State. I will say this: it's one of the games that I also don't love. I love a lot of these games today, but there's been about 3 or 4 where I'm like, it's a toss-up. This is a toss-up because I don't think Iowa State's this good either. But Kansas State's a very different team. They're a lot like what Toast just said about Oregon. You never know what you're going to get with Kansas State because they could be really good one day. They also could be really bad. So
let's bring up Toast. Toast, your thoughts?
My thoughts are I will gladly take the 7.5 with Kansas State. Since February 1st, Iowa State 117th in the country in offense. They've just really haven't been the same type of team as offense as far as scoring the ball. And then we have a pace thing where neither one of these teams like to get up and go, both towards the back end of their conference as average pace of play. Both of these teams play lights out defensively. So I'll more than happy take the 7.5 points with a Jerome Tang team that's just absolutely desperate right now and playing pretty well decent, winning against Iowa State and Texas their last couple games, losing to Cincinnati and Kansas. But we saw Cincinnati play really well yesterday. Obviously, that was a couple weeks ago, but point being, they're playing decent teams. I have no problem taking 7.5 with Kansas State. I actually like it a lot.
Damn, you like it a lot?
Yeah.
Scoop's compelling speech just put me onto Iowa State. But they just beat them in their last game. You think they're going to...
I think they're going to cover. That's what I think.
But it's Wizard of Oz night in Kansas.
Somebody said that I look like. No. Somebody said
I'm backing Matt Campbell. I'm going with when you got to get. I'm going with Matt Campbell.
That's your boy, Matt Campbell. I think AJ just commented that. You got to go with Matt Campbell.
51%, 39% Cyclones. Next.
I'd let you date my daughter too, Andy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But
they are 12 though, so I don't know if that's.
Well, I definitely don't.
Is that a deal breaker for you, Andy?
That is a deal breaker. Yeah. Also, the fact that I'm dating somebody is also a deal breaker.
Nah.
What's his name? Providence was 7.5. Creighton. Someone was asking about the Creighton game. We're finally here. I am on Creighton here, even though I don't love the idea that I'm laying a bunch of points to them. But I think Creighton has a pretty good shot to win the Big East. They're my sleeper.
3-seed sleeper. The best.
Would you lay the points to Creighton?
Now I would. It's opened at 9.5. It moved almost immediately. Now I would probably side Creighton, but at 9.5 probably would have gone Providence. That would have been a high number. This is like the perfect sweet spot for Creighton. I don't think they're a dominant team whatsoever because they rely on the three. If they're hitting them, yes, they're dominant, but you can't go into the game saying, "Oh, this team's going to dominate." You need to see if the shot's falling. I think it will. Providence didn't play as well as I thought they would yesterday against Georgetown. They covered, but it was more late. Like Georgetown was in that game for a while, and Georgetown's a bad basketball team, so that's a couple times now they've played close games with Providence. And Creighton as long as the shots are falling, and I think they will against Providence. Providence is the greatest defensive 3-point team, so I think the shots will be falling.
All right, so two of us on Creighton. Toast, would you take Creighton also?
Yeah, I don't really like it. I really wanted to play like 9.5 or something like that after Cooley and Providence and all the BS that's going on and them beating him and stuff. I just kind of thought it was a little bit of a sleepy spot for them against a Creighton team that's been absolutely rolling. Their only loss since February 7th was against St. John's when they got absolutely throttled. So I was trying to look towards Providence because they've been playing really well. They're 20 wins under Coach Kim English. Like, there's a lot of positive things going there, but I just think it's going to be a little bit too much. And like I said, I don't like emotionally after playing Georgetown yesterday. I just don't really like the spot. So I lean Creighton as well.
Playing Georgetown is an emotional experience.
Yeah, especially that school.
Scoop, are you hopping on a Friars Island?
I am on the Friars Island. Both teams split in the regular season. Last one in overtime by Providence. You really can't base a game playing against Georgetown. It's kind of a ho-hum experience. Beat Georgetown and move on to the next game. It's kind of like a warm-up game, but I think they're going to use that warm-up game and momentum to cover. Devin Carter's really stepped up after the injury to Bryce Hopkins. He's the Big East Player of the Year. You could really turn it up. He's been scoring 20, and it seems like every game lately. When I say he's the whole team, it's pretty true. He leads the team in points, rebounding, assists, steals, second in blocks. But Orduro's really strong down low too. I think he's more physical than Kalkbrenner. I think Kalkbrenner is a better player. If he can just disrupt Kalkbrenner down low and put up a fight, I like Providence here. Providence also plays some lockdown defense. I'm going to grab them with the points. If Carter can play like he has been, it'll be close. And if he's off, I can definitely see a Creighton double-digit win. But I have faith in Devin Carter, so I will back Providence.
So Scoop, hopping onto an island by himself, taking the points with Providence, I think you're wrong there. Next up, NC State Duke, DJ Burns Express. Does the North Carolina State Magic run out here, Toast?
I'll be taking them again. Just look, like I said, there's certain teams that kind of start to feel themselves. I'm going to take NC State. I understand that Louisville and Syracuse aren't really good teams, but they put up 94 and 83 points. Obviously, is the Duke defense much better than those two teams? Absolutely. But Duke is coming in here and not having played a game since March 9th, and that was a loss against North Carolina. Obviously, people want to say revenge or whatever. Obviously, and I know they're not playing North Carolina, but I still think it's a sleepy spot. Duke is more than comfortable in the tournament. tournament. Thank God that Filipowski is okay and alive. I'm still playing basketball. So I just it's really hard for me to find the motivation there. And like I said, NC State's been playing really well. As long as we get just something from NC State defensively, I think we're going to be more than happy or more than fine in this game. So 65 to a Syracuse team that's decent offensively. Again, not trying to make a case that they're anything like Duke, but their defense showed up a little bit yesterday. I'll take the 11.5 or 12 points now in this game as well.
Andy?
Yeah, I'm on Duke 100%. Game was played recently at NC State. Duke crushed them. Duke comes in. I do think the coming off the UNC loss does matter for them. I think they will be a little bit have an extra step to them. Also, it's a conference tournament, so there should be that extra step anyway. And it's just a significant step up in class. I mean, they got very lucky with their draw because Syracuse was pretty fraudulent all year with the fact that they were going to be a top 7 team in the ACC. Any other conference, that's one of the worst teams in your conference. They just got lucky they're in this shit conference.
Well, it's a good thing they beat them by 20, huh, Andy?
No, they did dominate them. I will give them that. I didn't expect them to dominate them like that. But this is just, I mean, they're coming now. They're playing Duke, one of the most elite talent-wise teams in the country. They've struggled against some of their big teams, but this will be a kind of a walk around for Duke here.
A walk around.
Walk around.
Over. Walk.
Okay.
Over. A walk over.
A walkover.
A walkover.
Scoop.
Walk around.
Yeah, I took Duke last night at 9.5. I'm still going to take Duke at 11.5. NC State had its fun. Now it's time for the true blue bloods to do their thing. I hate Duke as a program, but damn it, do I respect them. No, I respect them in a way that they really have that one white person on the team that you just fucking hate, and that's Filipowski. He's a diva. He likes to cry on the refs. He's kind of like Tyler Hansbrough, but he does his job. He's great down low, cleans up the boards well, can knock down the three if you need him to, but he also feeds on players that don't match up well, and that's NC State. Whether they throw DJ Burns, Middlebrooks, Diarra at him, it's not going to matter. He's going to take advantage of it. If he's in the post and they start doubling, he'll kick it out to Roach or McCain, and they can knock down the three. The talent and positioning, I think, are complete mismatches here. Duke should win this in every aspect of this matchup. I see Duke easily covering this number, a walkover, as you may say. They're not going to lose a quarterfinal game to NC State. Florida State needed to hit their shots. NC State needs to hit their shots. No one's scoring on the inside in this game. So I think Duke wins easily, and this is one of my favorite ones.
Really? I'm siding with Toast here. DJ Burns.
Another thing that I do like about NC State is their experience. They're one of the top 15 most experienced teams in the country. If you look at their starters, it's all juniors and seniors all across the board. So I think that comes into play just a little bit as well.
Have you considered experience, Scoop?
I have not.
See, he hasn't considered the experience.
It's part of his cap.
AJ corrected me. I meant walkthrough. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you know, Prop Beaver is going to put you on blast.
100%.
Walk about.
Ole Miss, Texas A&M.
Oh yeah, it's as if we didn't see this exact game on Saturday.
And do you think we'll see the same
crushed
result?
Oh, I think it'll be obviously not exactly the same, but I think it'll be pretty ugly. I mean, it was ugly on Oxford on Saturday. I don't think it'll be much better here. I think Ole Miss is they played such a shit schedule earlier in the season. You knew it was going to come crashing down at some point. I think Texas A&M's desperate, and I think they can still get into the tournament with a couple of wins here, and I think they're good enough to do it. Wade Taylor is going to get whatever he wants. Did it the other day. Everything I said Saturday, copy and paste. This Texas A&M team's far better, and that game was in Oxford. Now you got a neutral site. I think they're going to crush them again.
Scoop?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with the hotter team in A&M. They can't shoot worth a damn, but I can't back Ole Miss. They're 2-8 in their last 10. Their only 2 wins were against Missouri. These two just played each other on Saturday, like Andy said. I think all of us actually picked A&M, and Ole Miss got destroyed. I said they would be out rebounded in the game. I didn't expect it to be 50-21, but I don't really expect anything different in this one. That one, it was at home for Ole Miss, and now they're on a neutral site. That doesn't help things much. Texas A&M crashes the boards more than any other team. They have 46 more than second, which is Towson. The closest power conference school is Florida, and they have 67 more offensive rebounds than them. Like I said, they don't shoot the ball well, but they create so many more opportunities that when they find the offensive board, they find the open man to hit the shot. So when Washington, Garcia, getting those offensive boards, and Radford, Taylor, Obaseki score like they did a few games ago. This is going to go the same way. I don't think Ole Miss has the players or the talent to make any changes from the last game, so I will take Texas A&M.
I think I might be on an island here unless Toast is
You're
down.
not.
Yeah, let's do it.
How do you back an Ole Miss team?
This is March, Scoop. Teams show up. It's time.
Mark.
I'm betting it right now.
Look, so for me, I can't really argue with anything that these guys said, but what I can tell you
They're clowns.
is that Texas A&M, I understand that they've won 3 games in a row, and one of them was against this Mississippi team. But we've seen this situation a couple of times where a team just blows out another team, and then they really struggle with them the next time here. I can't think of the names off the top of my head. It's 7 a.m. here. But I just think that Chris Beard is one of the better coaches in the country, and I actually think that he's a better coach than Buzz Williams. So if you're going to give me something that literally the world's on the other side, and like I said, Texas A&M is not a team that I trust, especially not laying points on a neutral with. So, yeah, I'm more than happy to take my 5 or whatever it is with the world on the other side.
It's actually, these graphics say 5.5. It actually dropped to 4.5.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I just bet it. I took the money line
me too.
also.
Coming right now.
Rebels. Text, poll is all over.
You have to sound like that. I mean,
Poll is all over Texas A&M.
maybe take it down a little, 20% or so.
72%, 15% Aggie. So all the whole.
Why don't you grab yourself a puppers or something?
Yeah, you were right too. Chris Beard's a way better coach than Buzz Williams. I mean, that's not
Thank
even a question. The only thing he's not better at is being a man.
Where's
He's a better coach.
where did the chat? There we go.
Okay. Jesus Christ, Andy.
I like Beard, except the
Now you're giving out man cards?
You're right.
All right, so we got Penn State, Indiana. We got 21 minutes till tip, and we still got.
And we're not going off the air early.
Yeah. So we still have 6 games left here, so we might have to pick up the pace a little bit. But you know what? Who cares if we go a little bit over? I don't know. Actually, I would lean this way in this one. I was kind of curious about this line. Penn State's laying points to Indiana. I know Penn State's looked better recently, but laying points, I feel like we've taken it a little far here. Andy?
This is a double revenge spot, right, Toast? That's like one of your favorite things. This is the team that Penn State has played the best all year. Like they beat them both times at Assembly Hall and in Happy Valley. Yeah, I think a double revenge spot for Indiana. They are a really good team. They're played really good the other day, and they have talent, and we know that they can play well. So I think the double revenge. Penn State coming off a game against Michigan. I just like Indiana here. There's not like the stats would tell you it's Indiana anyway. It's just the only thing that would drive you to Penn State is the fact they played them really well both times. But revenge here.
Revenge. Scoop, do you agree with revenge?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride the red hot Indiana Hoosiers right now. There's still
because of the movie.
No, definitely not because of the movie. There's still nowhere close to a tournament bid, but me and Toast said it last time they played against Michigan State. With Xavier Johnson, this team's different. What's funny, he's only scored 3 points in that Michigan State game. He's not a scorer. He's definitely a facilitator, but he had 4 boards, 4 assists, can actually play defense for this team. That's something new. He's not there to score. He's there to drive and kick or find Ware down low, something Ware did an awesome job against Michigan State where he had 30+. But when it's needed, he can score too, like he did Maryland a few games ago. Penn State's not good. Well, really, Indiana isn't great either, but they're clicking when it matters down the stretch. Penn State beat Indiana when they didn't have Johnson, and without them, they're a stagnant offense, but he really doesn't make a big difference. So in a close game, I would take Indiana.
Toast?
Yeah, Scoop just stole my thunder, but yeah, I love Indiana here. It's all about Xavier Johnson. I understand he played the first game after they lost to this team, and I understand that Xavier Johnson, Scoop pointed out yesterday, he only had a couple points. He also had 4 defensive rebounds, a couple offensive rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, a block. I mean, the dude just absolutely fills up the stat sheet. So yeah, I really like Indiana here. They've been one of the better teams since Xavier Johnson's been back. Coach Mike Woodson has talked about how much they've just been better in practice. Everything looks better with this team with Xavier Johnson back. So maybe that's just what they needed, and they've shown it their last 4 games. So there's no reason for me to think otherwise here tonight. So Penn State's been pretty decent, but you don't get any points beating Michigan, and Maryland is absolutely terrible. I think Indiana can actually match up defensively as far as Maryland goes, and then the Indiana offense is a little bit better. So yeah, it's an easy Indiana for me.
I just bet the Hoosiers. I took the money line plus 105 on Caesars. I'm in. Polls slightly leaning towards Penn State, though. Next game. Stanford, Washington State. Let's get Toast up first. He tries to pretend like Washington State has a realistic chance of doing anything in March.
I didn't say that.
Before Toast talks, just knows there's an asterisk next to his name. He's a homer. Diehard Washington State fan.
What's the line now?
Remember when you took them against the Huskies?
No, I don't. What
Yeah,
happened?
it's you can get up for 7.5.
What happened?
Huskies,
Did they lose?
Huskies won.
Oh, remember when I took them against Arizona?
So did I.
That made up all for it.
I did
It's all
too.
good.
Okay.
It's really hard to lay. God damn it. I'm not really trying to lay 8 with this team. It's just really hard for me to lay 8. So I would take Stanford. I'm not going to say that I'm in love with it, but the Stanford team has actually won 2 games in a row. Obviously, both of them against California. But again, another OT game. I think people are going to make a little bit more into that than they need to. Stanford is one thing I talk about Washington State and how good they are because they're big. Well, Stanford's also very big too, so they're not going to be able to push Stanford around. So neither one of these teams, Washington State doesn't like to push the pace at all. Stanford's going to try to slow this game down to an absolute crawl because they don't rebound well and they turn the ball over a lot. So I think that possessions and points are probably going to be at a premium. So I'll take the 8.5, but I'm not in love with it.
All right. Yeah, I put Stanford up for me too. Stanford offensively earlier in the year was actually pretty good shooting the ball as far as jump shots go. Washington State's defense good at protecting the basket. So if the shot's there for Stanford, they should be able to keep it competitive. Andy?
I'm kind of similar to him. I don't love it, but I would actually side Wazoo. Stanford did win yesterday, but they were getting their asses kicked and had to come back. That is part of it. That does make me believe an overtime game for them does expend a little bit of energy there. Also, I think Wazoo just a better team. Stanford, like you said, last 2 wins were against Cal. Cal had a good year for them, but they were still pretty bad. And Wazoo's played pretty well against their lesser competition this year. So it's not I don't love it, but I would side with this one.
All right, Scoop.
Yeah, I talked to Toast Dad. He told me to take Washington State. 2 games already. They had double-digit wins over Stanford. Stanford shot awfully against Cal, and they were pretty lucky to move on here in first place. They shot 24 of 36 from the line, which is miserable, 20% from 3. They're actually pretty good from 3, but if that kind of shooting will carry over, it's going to be a wrap for them. Stanford had to go on that 42-13 run to even get the overtime. Washington State's defense, I think, is just going to hound Stanford. They'll definitely out-rebound Stanford for a bunch of second chances. They dominated Stanford last game, 37-21 on the boards. Will probably happen here again. Isaac Jones has been one of the best pure shooters in the conference. He could definitely find some looks here. Washington State had a rough end to the season with some bad losses mixed in there, but Stanford's been really bad this whole season. Before those 2 Cal wins in a row, they lost 6 in a row and 7 of 8. Stanford, I think, will hang around in the first half, but I think Washington State will pull away. I don't really like it either, but I will definitely side Washington State.
Doesn't sound like any of us really like that.
And I just want to say, I thought I saw I read a comment, but I understand that these teams played not next super long ago, but Stanford was on one of those a back-to-back for college basketball where they played Washington on the 15th, and then they had to play Washington State on the 17th, so they had to go across the state in 1-day travel. So it's just not a great spot for them.
Not a great spot for Stanford. Toast, Utah, Colorado. You going back to the Utes?
Yeah. It's this one. I really think.
I think that's the wrong side. I think Buffs are the way to go here.
I was gonna say I really think this is a toss up here. I understand that Colorado's been playing really well, but I also think that Utah matches up pretty well with them. Utah defensively is, I think, a little bit better than Colorado as far. The thing that worries me is that Brendan Carlson. I know that he played yesterday or whatever. Does he play again today? I assume so. It was an undisclosed personal thing, but he only had 7 points yesterday, and so if you don't have him on the floor looking good, it's just going to really be hard. So now that I'm talking about it more, yeah, I would lean Colorado as well. I don't love laying 6.5 points with Colorado anywhere that's not Colorado. As I've talked about on this show before, Tad Boyle is absolutely terrible on the road and in neutrals. But like I said, if Utah's best player is giving you absolutely kind of nothing, it's just really hard to get there with them.
I have Utah, Colorado. Hold on. Where's Marquette Villanova?
Colorado's the last game.
Yeah, that was supposed to be Marquette Villanova. Damn. All right. Whoops. All right. So Utah, I have Colorado. We'll just skip real quick, who do you guys have in this game? Because so we can get to the next one.
Colorado.
I'm on Colorado. Toast leans slow Colorado. Scoop.
I like Utah.
So you'd be on a Utah island. All right, let's get to the next one. It's almost 12 o'clock anyway. So Cincinnati Baylor. Got a good one. Cincinnati coming off a big win. Shout out to me and Toast on the Bearcats. Andy was on Kansas thinking he was being sharp. He was left out in the cold.
He was, as usual, being an idiot. And
does Cincinnati stay hot here?
I don't believe so, no. I do give them credit, but this is their third game in 3 days. Now they're facing Baylor, who can get hot, can play great, faster than them. So, yeah, I think I like Baylor here. I will give them credit, though. They dominated Kansas, and now Kansas isn't very good without their guys. But I'm going to take the better team here on a third game in 3 day type situation. Those scare me at this point.
I think you're wrong. I
think he's wrong, too.
I'm sticking with the Bearcats. They were kind to me last night, and they're kind to me again. I'm going to bet this game too. I just don't want to do it right now because we can't slow things up because of time. But Scoop,
Actually, not faster though.
Yeah, I can't side with Cincy. I know they're 8-2 as an underdog, but they just played twice in a row. They squeaked by West Virginia, dominated a smaller injury/rested Kansas without McLaurin Dickinson. That Kansas game really didn't do much for me. Kansas couldn't buy a shot. They missed a ton. Even some easy layups were 15% from three. I don't really look at that as Cincy playing good defense. They really weren't. Kansas had a bunch of open looks, but they just couldn't do shit. Timberlake has been awful for Kansas. Cincy can play some defense, but they'll need it going against Baylor. Baylor's averaging 81 points per game. They're extremely streaky. They go on runs like no other team. So when they're on from three, it's hard to stop them. Plus, Baylor had a week off. Cincy's playing their third in a row. This line doesn't seem big enough for me, so I'm going to take Baylor.
I think you're wrong there. Toast, you're with me, right?
Yeah, I really don't see the Baylor side at all. I understand that Cincinnati has played 2 games in 2 days, but I also think that that's a little bit of an advantage to them. I think they're kind of playing by the seat of their pants, and I understand that Baylor is a much better team, especially with Kansas without their 2 stars in McCullough and Dickinson or whatever. But let's just not pretend that like Cincinnati doesn't play defense. I mean, they're the 3rd best defense in the Big 12 as far as everything you can think of. The only thing that they don't do well is defend the 3 ball. But Baylor's coming in here, haven't played in multiple days. They're playing on a neutral. I have a hard time believing Baylor's just going to be draining 3 balls at a 40% clip on a neutral. I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening with this Cincinnati defense. Cincinnati rebounds with is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the conference, if not the best offensive rebounding team in the conference. They can hang down low with Baylor. And they're also going to slow the game down. Baylor's going to try to slow the game down. Cincy's going to try to speed the game up a little bit. I think that Cincinnati can stay in this game. I truly believe that Cincinnati is live in this game.
I'm betting. You read my mind. Betting it right now. Log in. I hate how they log you out if you just don't have the app open for 5 minutes.
It's the worst.
Come on. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I want to get the bet down so I don't forget. I'm in. Oh. Hold on. Now place bet. Now I'm in. Bet placed. All right. So poll is leading towards Baylor. So me and Scoop on Cincinnati Islands.
My name's Toast. Please don't.
Me and Toast. All right. Next game.
He wishes.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Andy, it's showtime.
Oh, yeah, isn't it?
And he goes, oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, brother.
I've genuinely started like looking at Missouri, Florida. So I know I did, but coming into this, Georgia 27-2 straight up when they give up less than 70 points. When they don't, it gets pretty ugly. I don't think they're holding Florida to 70 or less. They've been held to 70 or less since February 3rd. I'd be genuinely shocked if that happened. Georgia got hot from 3 yesterday. This is a really good defending it. Florida's really good at defending the 3. I expect this one to get ugly because it was getting a little ugly against Missouri yesterday, but they got fortunate that Missouri's probably the worst team I've ever seen in the SEC. Florida's not that. Florida's going to hit their threes. They're not going to miss them like Missouri was. So I think it'll be ugly. Florida will win it. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'll be wrong on this one.
Yeah,
you just pulled the Toast. You gave a really awesome stat and then went the other way.
Do you see them giving up less than 70?
I'm just saying, I thought that was awesome.
I'm on Florida too. I think this is a blowout. Georgia is absolutely trash. Scoop.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, some of these games, it's so hard to pick a team after watching them struggle all game, like Georgia or Nova. By the way, I think we skipped over Nova, but I would
know.
definitely take Marquette. I'm taking Marquette. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I'm doing Nova. I'm taking Villanova.
Okay.
But I didn't bet that one, so.
I'm going to go with Florida. Florida's been pretty profitable the second half of the year. They have the ability to run the game up. They'll want a better seed in the upcoming tournament. I thought Georgia was done for, but they pulled it out. I know they played Florida tough both games this year, and I know they play hard in every game, but it's hard to trust them to have any kind of consistency or offensive production right now. With Florida pushing the pace, Georgia has an average defense. I see this game getting away from Georgia pretty quickly. Florida doesn't have a quality defense really either, but Georgia doesn't have a bunch of playmakers on their team. I'm not sure if Abdul Rahim's going to even play. He didn't against Missouri. Even with him, Thomason and him are the only two scorers on their team, so it's going to be hard to keep up with Florida. I'll take Florida.
Toast, we sweeping?
No, we're not. Give me the Bulldogs.
Come on, dude. They suck.
I didn't bet this yet, but I mean, I'm just looking at Florida, and anytime they've been a big favorite, they haven't really done well. So they didn't cover against Missouri. They didn't cover against Vandy either time at big numbers. So yeah, this is just kind of me pushing back against everybody else. So yeah, I'll take the Bulldogs. I hope that I cash this in Andy's face. It's going to feel very good.
I hope you do too, bud.
The community's definitely on Georgia, by the way. Next up, Boston College, Virginia. Only 2 games left. 2 games left. This one and one more. Oh no, this is the last game.
Is it because
We skipped Marquette and
yeah, because we skipped Marquette and Nova. And by the way, to Marquette and Nova, I'm on Nova. Scoop said Marquette. Andy,
I'm taking Nova money line. So yeah, Nova.
2 Novas. Toast Nova.
3 Novas.
So we skipped that game by accident. But
I don't get you guys. That's fine.
No, Scoop's on a Marquette Island in that one. Sorry, I messed the graphics up. That's on me. So here we go. Last game. Boston College, Virginia. ACC tournament. It's tournament time. This is usually where we see Virginia do their best work. No? Am I wrong with that, Andy?
You're right. You're definitely right. It's not exactly a saying, but like Tom Izzo is, but this is where Bennett is usually his best as well. But I think BC's coming in at this point playing with the house's money at this point. This should be Virginia. I'm going to side Virginia. They're probably going to limit BC a lot more than everybody else did, obviously. I think they'll do just enough on the offensive side. BC is playing their best basketball by far this year, and what they did yesterday I was jaw-droppingly shocked at how they played yesterday, but Virginia's a bit of a step up defensively from Clemson, so I'll go Virginia.
Yeah. No shot. I'm on Boston College. Definitely Virginia. I'm going to bet this one too. Scoop.
Come on, Floyd, stop fading me, man. That's messed up.
He sees fading Scoopia.
I know, it's sad, but I'm gonna ride Boston College here, which is crazy. Virginia's taken some bad losses here. Their offense becomes Rutgers-esque at times. Boston College is playing some physical basketball. They're dominating boards on these games, which they don't do. Claude Harris is playing out of his mind. I feel like this is going to be a popular upset pick today, personally. I think the money's going to come in on Boston College, but I'm here for it. Boston College played Virginia earlier this year. They only lost by 4. They just rolled as underdogs against Miami and Clemson by 16 and 21. I know Virginia's been off all week, and Boston College is coming off 2 straight. But you never know what Virginia offense is going to come out. They'll run a half-court set like they always do, but they struggle to find open looks. It's crazy, but I feel like Virginia struggles to keep up here. Boston College offense has been rolling, and I think they can beat this Virginia team straight up.
Toast, you sounded like you're on Boston College too.
Yeah, I have to. I'm not in a position where I can lay points with this Virginia team, especially coming on. Like what? They haven't played in 5 days. They had a nice win against Georgia Tech, but they beat this Boston College team by 4 the last time they played. So I just have a hard time believing that Boston College doesn't come out here and play well. They've continued to play well their last 2 nights, putting up 81 and 76 points. Clemson, I think, is a much better team than Virginia, not defensively, but just overall in general. So I actually think this is rather an equal opponent, or maybe even a little bit of a step down in class for Boston College as well. So I will gladly take the points with the team that's playing their best basketball this season right now.
Maybe Clemson was better than Virginia in January and February, but it is March now.
Virginia's 68th in KenPom, and Clemson's like 30. It's not even like close.
But now it's March, and the real Virginia is going to stand up.
The one that
48%.
lost in the first round or the one that won the title?
Hopefully the title one. Yeah, that one. So community's leaning towards Boston College. If you guys need to go, I'm going to do a community parlay, but I understand we've been on for a while if you guys need to bounce. But
I don't need to. So.
Unfortunately, I ain't got shit to do besides do this.
Yeah. So Florida State, North Carolina, they voted North Carolina.
Not even as many games I can do After Effects for because there's all.
I do got to do the VIP. I got to start that.
Minnesota, Michigan State, they voted Minnesota.
That's the one thing about these lives in the morning.
Andy, there's literally nothing you can do for tomorrow yet, almost.
Yeah, only the SEC and Big Ten games. I believe will have
only
winners.
like a couple teams are even in.
Yeah,
all right,
I'm gonna get them done. Get as much so Kyle doesn't have to do a lot in the morning.
Community parlay. What's the first leg?
A couple of coaches have been hired and fired while we started. I don't know if you saw that, Toast.
Who's that?
I've seen nothing.
Holtman seems to be headed to DePaul, according to Trilly, our guy Trilly. So Holtman's going to DePaul, and Boynton was fired at Oklahoma State. I got that text from my friend. He's on campus, so he heard about that.
I'm about to DM Trilly right now.
Someone said they like. Someone said they like Detroit Mercy to win the tournament. Are they still involved in theirs?
I think their tournament hasn't started yet. Right? Are they in? What are they in? Aren't they in the Horizon? Didn't that end already?
No idea.
I'm confused.
I'm gonna tell Trilly to come on the show and drop some news.
Yeah, Trilly would not. Trilly doesn't. Nobody knows who Trilly is. That's the thing. Only the recruits that he like.
He sent me a hoodie though. I love it.
Good dude. I love Trilly. I just joined his Discord, so he's awesome.
And this North Carolina money line.
I was like, I need a hoodie in Alaska, and he sent me the graphics of the new ones and stuff. He's a good guy.
So we got North Carolina. Let's see. Maryland, Wisconsin. They voted Wisconsin. Oh, no. Maryland won that poll. St. John's, Seton Hall. St. John's definitely won that poll. Wake Forest, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won the poll. And TCU, Houston. Houston won. All right. Next leg.
Which is your top bet today? Who's yours, Toast? Who would you say your top bet is today?
North Carolina money line.
For me, either BYU or USC.
Okay.
Probably BYU.
BYU. I also really like that one we just placed. That man, what was it? The one where Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss.
Yeah, mine would be Mississippi State probably, or Florida.
I like Florida. Mississippi State too. I bet that one too.
Yeah. Okay. I think the SEC is going to be very interesting today because I think you have a couple games that'll be blowouts, but like that Arkansas South Carolina game will be very good.
Guys, this is starting out to look like the chalkiest community parlay of all time. Like record-breakingly. Whoa, USC money line is getting a shot at this though.
You said you liked Ole Miss plus the 4.
I got it at 4.5.
Or that's what I meant. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to put it on VIP.
I am. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only one on it. That's why.
Yeah, I also like Mississippi State.
I got Mississippi State, Kansas State, Nova.
I'm taking Nova. Actually, I'm doing that now. Nova money line before people.
I might skip the Nova game. Shaka Smart's like 6-0 against them. Kind of bothers me.
Shaka doesn't have his guy today. Kolek. So. I'm out on him.
Yeah, hold on. I can tell you if there's another one I like for the VIP right now.
Andy, I'm gonna send you a list after this, and can you just edit it and send it back?
I like Toast.
That's
I like Arkansas too.
Okay,
that's what I'm gonna go to Kyle's. I'm gonna get his NBA stuff done, and then I'm gonna do whatever I can After Effect wise. So, yeah, send me the list.
Carolina, Houston.
I like
minus 200.
Yeah, Toast. Can you put Marist on there for me too?
Ooh, Marist, a little mid-major.
No, Helms brought it up.
Not even a mid-major at that point.
No, Helms brought it up, but we were talking about Marist before the show started, and I pulled up the spreadsheets. And
did they play Fairfield today, or did they?
No, they play.
They played Fairfield.
Niagara. They played
Niagara. Yep.
Okay.
You can bet that.
Yo, USC money line just made the community parlay.
We can bet New York. We can't bet New York.
Yeah, you can bet
That's freaking beautiful.
Yeah, we couldn't bet the Rutgers game yesterday, which pissed me off because I was gonna drill Maryland, but we can't.
Dude, that was the easiest. My easiest bet yesterday was Maryland minus 3.5 and Rutgers team total under 60. It was free.
It's almost like a joke that was like Rutgers this season. They cared about maybe one game on here.
I almost didn't bet the team total under 60 because I felt weird. And Scoop had made the joke about the 50, and I was like, man, are they trying to trap me here? But no, they weren't.
Baylor money line.
Yeah, because I know Kyle wanted to bet Maris, so he can definitely bet him.
Here, yeah, I'll bet it. Here's the last leg of the community parlay. What's it gonna be? Cast your votes.
You'll probably have to bet Carolina lives. So
Yeah, probably. Hopefully they're not up like 8-0 already.
no, I don't.
Every time when I go to Kyle's, every time we look at the games right before we put them on, they're already blowouts. Like yesterday, UCF brought it within close, but it was like a blowout when we put it.
Richmond started off 10-0 today.
Yeah, it's 11-16 now.
Now it's 11-16. It's a gross game.
And it's gonna be Creighton money line. Andy, do you have a sports book open?
I can get DraftKings open.
Yeah, because
Good
Toast.
thing Toast does.
Oh, do you? I thought you were doing the VIP. I figured you were.
I am. 656.
There we
It's
go.
not that bad.
Okay. I just took Creighton
USC
money.
helped that.
Yeah, it's basically 3 chalks in USC. North Carolina money line, Houston money line, USC money line, Creighton plus 656. Thanks everyone for watching. Was a good one. We'll be back same time tomorrow, hopefully with a lot more money in our accounts. I'll be back for the NBA show at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So I got Ronald UCapper coming on with Prop Beaver. So if you want to come back for the NBA show, see you in a few hours. Everyone bet responsibly today. I'll be in the Discord in and out for most of the day too.
I think I'm gonna comment on the NBA one just to make fun of AJ today.
You should put him on blast.
idea.
It's been a while. Yep.
Later.
Later.
Kyle, do you want to call me today or no? You don't.